Somebody want to roll D6? Or, I mean, I can.
Alright, D6, number 5.
Okay, so that's him.
Oh.
Because it goes to
no.
my left.
Oh no.
So you can recap.
Wait, recap the Ben.
Recap.
So, the last time, we decided... No, we did not decide. We found out that all our bread was missing. So, what we did was we went on an epic adventure to get our bread back.
A sacred quest, you might say.
It didn't work though.
Yeah.
There were many trials and tribulations. There were these like holes that shot out like, I don't know, gophers or something.
But they were explosive.
Oh yeah, explosive gophers.
That shot out of holes in the ground.
And
Nice.
and then there are these dogs, and they ate all the bread. So rather than stealing the bread back from them, we tamed the dogs and made them our own bread dogs.
Bread hounds.
Bread hounds, yes.
We bred our own hounds.
This is quite the retelling.
Yes.
And this is what happened last time.
This is why I can't be gone. That's what happens. That's all I'm
Does
doing.
anyone else want to elaborate on all the things he ignored there?
I seem to recall that the dwarf man wrestled a water weird or something.
Yep. And he lost.
Oh, you're right. I think
That
I
was
died.
You went
that was you.
unconscious.
Yeah, I didn't remember it because I was unconscious.
There you go.
He essentially got repeatedly slammed by a water elemental.
And I remember
He got abused
We also
by
spent several minutes with Burl, already breaking into Worf's inverted tower against his will.
That was great.
He rolled a nat 20 on picking the lock, so there was no keeping him out anymore.
Oh my
And,
god.
Until you change the
Got it
locks, which conveniently have been changed after a month.
And we also decided that you didn't come along because we lost you to the vents.
I acquired some purple
Hiding
dye.
in the vents.
You were lost in the vents,
For you.
and you
Well,
would
it's
come out
because
when you
my
were ready.
tablecloths are supposed to be purple, but they're actually red. And so I need to
Yes,
fix
that's
that.
right. He spent forever finding purple dye.
Purple dye.
It's the little things in life.
And I remember
I enjoyed my vent time, I'm sure.
when we were in the caves, we got ambushed by like a brain tentacle bird beak monster that already somehow managed to
I think
convince.
it was a Grick. No, it was a Grell.
It wanted to eat us and already convinced it that we were. What was the word I said?
We didn't taste good.
It would give it really bad indigestion, is what I told it.
Well, while in the vents, Dave leveled up and now he's a level 4 rogue.
He also acquired vent lung.
Yeah, and what I picked up as a rogue was the assassin archetype. So
Oh, that's
Assassinate
gross.
from the vents.
the vent assassin.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah,
I'll
I guess
never see
one...
it coming.
No.
Whoa. Literally. Well, alright. So yeah, that's most of what happened last time. Now, after all that nonsense, you guys have gone back because you've been given some data that actually applies to what you're here for.
Ooh.
Your actual, your actual purpose and the requests of your patron.
Right.
TKD, I believe.
Yep. She would like you to kind of try to do your best to reclaim any major artifacts in one of 3 locations that they have found. As well as maybe kill anything notable inside it or come back with info because, you know, these were once ancient temples and buildings of very much high repute.
I'm just thinking, so we gotta get the red and the blue and the green, and we gotta take it to the Temple of Time and release
Oh,
the
no.
sword.
She's just expecting you to do one.
Okay.
For now, just do one, because she needs to be able to prove success in order to gain, you know, political power in the Empire as of late.
Yeah, I can't
Pull
get too
the
carried
Master
away.
Sword.
So if you do, you guys will all gain glory and honor and stuff.
Possibly
It is
even a
incredibly
level.
valuable. Well,
Possibly.
you'll get that as well. But the point is, you will also get money.
Money?
She's going to reward you very handsomely for success. This is very much why you are here. Now, one of them is further into the mountains, you know, as you do. One is further into the swampy area, one is further into the desert. Looks like you're shot in the middle of them, which is sort of fortunate because, you know, there's a lot of problems with some of the old stuff. And a lot of, you know, well, they were not abandoned because it was not good anymore.
Okay.
So which, so we get a choice?
Yes, you can go north into the mountains,
Back into the mountain.
south into the swamp,
Can I
and then east into the desert.
Can I spend 100 of my gold for my establishment to gather intel
You may.
on each of these locations and which one might be less hazardous?
I mean, everyone knows you're supposed to go into the desert last.
It's true, it always works out.
They,
that
they
way.
all sound like they got their problems, but if I can get an idea of what might be lurking in each of them.
All right, what kind of, where are you gonna throw your money to? There's more official scouts. There are other, you know, notable figures, people who've been doing stuff to try to figure things out. There are the people who found the locations.
I think scouts would probably be the best. And before I let my thought train get too far, how much time has passed from the last time to now?
Just 1 month.
Just 1 month? Okay. Well, if I can make a note that every day during that month Artie went to visit his jellyfish friends.
Okay, noted.
The note.
Jellyfish is, in about a month, your jellyfish may be conscious.
Okay. Okay, so yes, scouts I think would probably be.
All right, so you go to discuss this with scouts. You have a little bit of coin. They respect coin. Their job is not the most rewarding, but not too bad. They are willing to show you some of their data, some of their notes, kind of share some experiences. You're very much aware that the mountains are... They get cold, very cold, and they get very tall where the air is thin. And then a lot of the things, especially the place they located, were more in the caves on mountain sides and between mountain peaks. It's very much a rocky place. But yes, they're very much warning you about creatures that prefer cold and, you know, that sort of environment. The desert is quite hot, as expected. But, you know, there's also just tons of sand. Life is pretty passive in the day, but at night it gets pretty messy around watery areas. So, the location, though, is a little close to some water, not too close, but it's a ways away. Each of these is about a day away. Looks like there's, you know, sort of intentions there. And then the one that is in the swamp is going to be very wet, and there's a lot of life going on
I
there.
don't think Artie wants to get wet. No, I think he wants to avoid the water, so the swamp is out for Artie.
Oh,
I was
seemed
really,
like perfect for Dave.
I was also really
Dude,
wanting to go to the swamp.
Dave would.
Well, if you all vote swamp, I don't think Artie can say no that hard.
No, his vote would be against swamp anyway. He's like,
No, not want to go there.
In that case, we must go. Immediately. In fact, I'm leaving right now. You can catch up with me later.
Alright. Sounds like it's decided then.
so what's the rest of the intel on the swamp as far as creatures?
There's just a lot of variety. It's a high, you know, biomass location. There's a lot of trees, quite different from those you are used to, perhaps. And there's going to be a lot of water. That's the big notable thing. They're like, there's a lot of water to deal with. This is good to know. And it's, you know, a chore to have to walk through it.
Yeah.
And how many feet high is this water?
It varies.
Oh, great.
They did measure 100 feet deep in one certain pond.
We're
I'm not
all
sure that that's a
tiny.
pond anymore.
It was a pond.
Just a very deep.
A very deep pond.
Wouldn't it be like more of a well at that point? Just a very deep.
It looks like the
lake.
mountain chain continues under the kind of surface of the water and keeps going deeper as it goes out, and the swamp will eventually open up into more open, actual ocean.
Okay.
So you
Being
guys have
impervious to mosquitoes, I have no problem with this.
There will be there will be water wherever you go, but swamp has more of it.
I'm sure it'll be more than just mosquitoes. There'll be those giant blood-sucking ones from the original Jumanji movie that are like poking through the roof of the car and cracking the windshield glass. I don't think we want to go to the swamp.
Good lord.
Definitely still
We
want to go
definitely want to go to the swamp.
I'm all for this
The
one.
more creatures I hear about that I can put in bottles, the better.
Okay.
Alright, who's gonna carry me? Space buddy.
Nope.
You wanted to go here.
We all wanted to go here.
You're gonna carry me. Let's
No.
piggyback on you. Zelda ride. Whee!
Isn't she pretty small too, though?
I am.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna let you. Do we need to strength check this?
We might. We might need to contest this one because he will
boy.
try to climb up on your shoulders.
It's a D20 plus strength.
Would it be strength or dexterity? Could I like use dexterity for attempting to clamber and stay on top of Worf's shoulders?
You could.
The grapple is still
In that
strong,
case,
isn't
I'm
it?
using dexterity to throw you back down into the into the mud.
It would be, if it's grappling, it'd be strength, I think.
Yeah, grappling is strength unless you're a monk,
Very well.
and you ain't a monk.
Okay.
You're a mystic.
Pretend to be a
But
monk.
would it be grappling
You're a brain monk. Watch
to
yourself.
sit on shoulders? Would that be considered grapple?
Yeah, because you have to grab them. You have to grapple them.
I'm just thinking like grapple makes them
You
not
can use.
move.
You could use acrobatics if they weren't resisting.
Yeah, no,
They're
that's
resisting.
not gonna happen.
You have two.
Are you sure?
What'd you
Because
get?
I rolled a 3,
Yeah.
so I have 5 altogether.
Yeah, no, like my strength is already a -1 and I rolled a 2.
Good, I throw you to the ground.
Dang it.
You get wrecked.
That was probably the
Dirt.
most pathetic exchange I've ever seen.
I know, right?
Neither one of it had any power either.
It was more like Artie's just like going over to
This
you,
is
just,
literally
like,
two
grab,
nerds
push.
that are slapping
Our
each
team
other.
does not do strength very well. I have a +0 on strength.
Our
Right.
party has a very little strength. We have a dwarf.
I know.
Like that's our power.
Yep.
Hi. Alright, then
Anyway.
you're in.
Dwarf
Let me
power,
piggyback on you.
no
You're a lot
more
taller than Worf is
disguise.
anyway.
Alright, come here.
Yay!
Okay, alright. Well, now that that's settled,
Yeah. So you guys are gonna head to the swampy place. Might be difficult to land a ship in the water. So I mean, where do you guys want to land?
is there anywhere near the swamp? Do we
Yes.
know where in the swamp we need to go?
Yeah, you have a very distinct location the Scots have brought back.
I say we should land as close to that location as possible without being in the swamp.
Okay, what would you like to bring to get there?
What do we have?
What are our options
You
again?
have the Dave ship. You also have the Voyager race.
The Voyager,
The entire Voyager?
freaking big ship.
The Dave ship
yeah.
sounds like the right thing to do.
You also have a.
The Dave ship is better camouflage.
Realistically, yeah, you could take those, or you could, I don't know, ask for something smaller. Like the Dave ship's already kind of equipped,
It's also camouflage.
and the Dave ship can fit 16 people. It's big enough.
Now, as a thieves are.
Are we bringing the dogs?
Ship.
Are we bringing the dogs? Or are they worshipping the bread?
I don't know if fire dogs would work well in a wet swamp.
This is fair.
I'm not gonna let fire dogs on.
Fly your dog. Let's swamp.
Alright. So we go without dogs.
Is there anyone else we want to bring?
Yeah, we should bring somebody, but I don't know.
Okay, is anyone wearing red shirts?
Can I
out
bring my
there?
goblin buddy?
You are currently wearing a red
Do
shirt
we have
right
any
now.
red shirted
Maybe rich.
companions
The
in the camp that we can bring
That
with
is
us?
the normal uniform, so everyone wears a red
Yes.
shirt. That's normal.
All right, let's bring a bunch
Technically,
of people.
you are all red shirts.
Let's bring
when
a
you
bunch of
wear
people, but
normal
we can't name
uniform.
them because then we'll get attached to
Oh, I'm
them.
gonna bring some of my goblin friends.
Josh, you are red shirts.
No!
How would we play a group of people?
What?
How do we play a group?
Oh no, I was just gonna like send them out in the swamp and like just use them as distractions.
Just trigger all the traps before we go through it.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, okay, That's why I was saying red shirts, like from like Star Trek.
Yeah. All the red shirts
All the
die.
expendable people.
Right.
That's also why I don't want to name them. I think it's too complicated to bring other people. I mean, we got to stay agile as a group.
We should bring some back up because
I don't know. Naturally, the swamp isn't very agile as is. It might be useful to just bring more men,
Sure.
bodies.
People.
Would the
And women
astral
too.
forged from last time be open to coming if we asked him again?
You can always roll for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Alright.
We should bring the captain.
Let's see.
Captain.
I believe it's a
Wait, is he
charisma
still
save
alive?
to try
Oh, yeah,
and
he's fine.
ask him if he wants to come.
What?
And
Or
we
not a
say-
charisma
Oh,
save,
the
but
banjo
a charisma
kazooie
roll.
music's coming out. That means we did something goofy.
Alright,
Okay.
yeah,
It's just more fitting to you guys
So-
discussing what you want to do than anything else.
That's fair.
19 to persuasion to ask
Yeah.
him if he would like to come to the wet swamp.
He's not a huge fan of water either.
Okay.
Being someone built usually for hot and cold environments, this is the one he'd rather not do.
Okay.
I'd like to bring maybe one of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
You can bring one person total.
One total? Can
The whole group can bring one person.
each.
Yeah, everybody else is busy making sure that you aren't killed by all the possible deaths.
the group, not each.
The
No,
whole
each
group
one
brings
can
one
bring
person.
one person.
Okay.
Whole group.
Can I bring the Daggerrat?
Daggerrat doesn't count. Daggerrat is more than a follower. He's like a familiar, man.
He counts. He can count.
Oh my
Wait,
goodness.
Familiars are fine.
I've
I'm talking about like
dogs,
DMPCs
rats.
that I have to manage.
Can I? What about like one of the goblin captains?
Yeah, it was only a. Oh,
You would like to bring one of them?
Yes.
the insect.
Okay.
Roll persuasion.
Is that a persuasion roll or
Yeah, that would have to be try intimidation.
intimidation?
Yeah, they are very busy, and the only thing they might not be busy for is perhaps a great threat that you have to convince them of.
All right. Well, I'm gonna put my fancy what's-its to that because. Come on.
That's one way to do it.
That's an 18 base.
Okay, so yeah, you're like, oh, it's super scary and gross, and there's all sorts of things you could kill and bring back.
There.
You managed to get the. Would anyone else like a different person though?
I'm just assuming I'm going to bring some of the gunner group that I've been hanging
Yeah, they
with.
will
They're my
protect your
crew,
ship.
they're my deep ship crew. Yeah.
They're not necessarily melee people.
No, but they're just chill, they're
watch
going to chill in the ship while we go.
You're gonna bring two of them.
Sure.
I'm just gonna bring Daggerrat
Understandable.
to help convince his swamp brethren.
Yeah.
I'm bringing
can I qualify?
me, myself, and I.
Cool.
Can I qualify that the two that I bring with me are of the illest repute?
Oh yeah.
And when I say ill repute, it's like our slang for like really cool.
Yeah.
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 Like ill.
They're
you know.
super ill. Yeah,
Super
you don't
ill.
even know. You don't even know.
Ill repute.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So yeah, you have two extremely ill gunners. They're gonna
That's what
watch
Dave
your
likes to hear.
shit. All right. And so you also have a hobgoblin breathing heavily in the kind of almost built-in mask that they have, that they are sort of built for, and there's just that kind of moments.
Nice.
But yes, they are looking forward to bringing back many trophies of victory.
Yes.
Alright.
They are going to be equipped with a few things. Let me roll a die. Okay. Oh, that's an interesting class and everything. Okay. Well, there we go. I know something about your hobgoblin friend
Okay.
and what he can do.
Nice.
He is welcome to the group.
Right. Dave's ship is ready. You will have enough supplies for a while. And the Hellhounds are being managed by the bioweapons expert, along with the recuperating jellyfish,
All right.
because nobody else wants to watch them while you are gone.
Alright.
We'll have to pay somebody to watch them then.
The bioweapons expert is doing a good job,
All right.
even if they don't say much. Ever.
Okay, Dave, fly us to victory.
Hi.
Please give me a roll.
Okay. Somebody get away without a roll. What's the plus? What's the modifier?
You don't have any. Well, you have vehicle.
Yeah, I have 14 plus whatever. But 14 was my base, so.
Honestly, that's the one skill that we don't have that I can manipulate. Just use
Maybe dexterity, because that's like.
Dex plus your
dexterous.
proficiency in things as if you know.
Okay,
you
well
were
I have plus
a good
6
skill.
dexterity, so
Cool.
I'm at 20.
Yeah, so you're doing really well.
Okay.
Dave is a great flyer and pilots the ship quite well. It's a nice, easy ride, despite the fact that as you get closer to there, it does rain a bit, and you get close enough. It's really muddy and murky, but you do manage to land at a location that one of the scouts had told you of. So you got prime real estate, much closer than you thought you could park.
Okay.
Free real estate.
It literally is free real estate. Anyway,
Free real estate.
yes, and you guys get much closer than you thought, so it'll be much
Okay.
less likely that you get encounters on the way there.
Yay!
Alright, nice.
If you think that's a good thing, then that's cool.
I do.
Unless we need to kill all of them before we go through.
We just burn the whole place down.
Just burn it down.
Burn it down.
Too bad we used all the kerosene on the
Burn down
boats.
for what?
I think we needed to, though. We'll have to
We
request
absolutely
more
do.
kerosene before we go anywhere else.
Oh yeah, we need more shipments of kerosene from the princess and whatnot.
We need more, like, from space. We used
We
up
need
all of
more
our
kerosene.
kerosene.
You require
And
more.
bread. Don't forget the bread.
Yeah,
Bread, more
was needed.
bread.
Okay.
Bread and kerosene, please.
I am leading the way in my eagerness to get into the wetness.
All
I
right,
am sick.
you step out of the ship and
party.
step into 6 inches of mud.
I am.
There's that scent of mist in the air that you can't actually smell, but you can feel it coalescing on your
Wait,
body. Like
6
gross.
inches of mud.
6 inches of
I'm
muck.
only a little over 2 feet tall.
You have to pull out your weight
Up to your
Dave.
waist.
Oh no!
Are
Just
you,
actually
let me see. Do you have any favorite terrains as a kobold?
Nope.
This would actually feel then pretty homely for you, though.
I'm 2'11", but I can fly, so I could just fly.
You can fly over it, and you can get out of it pretty easily. It doesn't actually suck too hard if
Are
you're
there-
light, which you are.
Are there trees and stuff?
There are
Then
tons of them.
I will probably fly from tree to tree.
Imagine
dig.
Daggerrat, and you've got a good idea of what this place looks like.
I don't know what that is, but do the branches intersect with each other?
All the time.
Do
Oh,
they
yes. Okay, Artie's gonna jump off of Signoran's shoulders and go straight for the tree branches.
Okay.
like? Do
Like
they
a
make?
squirrel.
Yes.
Do they make paths through the
Cat
tree
squirrel.
branches that you could navigate,
Pretty sure Daggerrat
Sometimes.
did have that kind of.
as if
full
they
of-
were vents? You could say.
The opposite of a vent, a beam,
I don't know if
like
I
a
like
web.
Not quite on.
that. I don't
on
like
board with
opposite
this.
events. I mean, it's a.
Well, you get it could be a vent if you hollowed it out.
That
For
would take a
whatever
long
that's
time.
A
worth.
proto vent. It's currently a
Proto
Okay, we'll take that.
It's a very
Early stage
primitive.
event.
It's an early form of event.
So it sounds like Artie and Dave will take
Nature's
two
vent.
Yes.
trees. We'll take two
We are getting
trees.
in touch with our instincts and our animal sides.
Well, I'm in the mud, so
Welcome to mud.
I will
Mud,
not climb
mud,
any
mud.
trees.
I don't know if I could climb trees.
I don't think I could. But
Well, you guys can climb trees. Good job climbing them. They're
Yay!
not that hard. Though Artie is not that good at climbing.
But I have cat's claws.
I
have
know,
climbing
but
speed
you're
of
also
20
weak.
feet. Oh goodness.
and you don't strike me as the most graceful of cats.
Climbing does work on strength and not dex, just remember that. But you can do it because you have cat's claws.
Yes.
That said, getting down will be funny.
We're gonna need a fireman, to get him down.
Get the ladder.
Yeah, probably. So you guys are in this whole kind of messy, foggy forest place with little ponds and rivers that go in weird ways and just mucky and gross. And you know you're supposed to go further south for about 2 miles. But other than here, there wasn't a very good parking spot for anything heavier than, well, for any large heavy thing, and your ship is pretty darn heavy.
And I've seen the Star Wars movies, and we don't have the Force, so getting our ship out would be really hard.
You have 2 mystics and you still don't have the Force.
I have something similar.
There you go.
He could teleport it, but the
could
chances
do
of
that.
teleporting it and not breaking it is the real question.
Alright.
Okay.
I lead the way southwards,
Alright.
unafraid of the
Is
mud.
everyone cool with that?
Yep, I mean, obviously we'll leave the...
What is the marching order? We're going in a vague line with these 2 hobos in the
I was
trees.
gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, she's lead... So we got our...
Where's the dwarf? In the back or in the middle?
The dwarf is sleeping.
The dwarf has achieved true
I am
sentience.
sleeping now.
He's meditating.
Alright, well the dwarf
Is the
will
dwarf
be...
staying at the ship? Is that what we're doing?
No,
No?
I'm trudging through the mud.
In the
Okay.
back or in the middle?
What? In the middle.
Alright. Well, I'll take up the rear then, I guess.
Alright.
Alright, so as you guys are approaching kind of your vague target, you keep going through this muck and mud and what might be a path of vaguely high ground to try and not go through, several feet of water. I want you to roll a survival test, a survival skill check. To see how well you lead.
And that's a 19.
That's pretty good. You managed to lead the group through pretty darn well, and you get to a point where, kind of up ahead, you see the vague beginnings of a dome. Up ahead, it's sticking out of the swamp and gross. It looks like it's been crusted, and there's like all sorts of nonsense on it. But it's the big shape of a dome that hasn't seemed to have been broken, which is pretty rare for things this old in a swamp. And that's the location. People have been closer and marked it off. They marked that there's more than one entrance, and you would know because you paid people. So good job paying people. You're getting your money's worth.
Yay.
There are a few entrances to the area around it to get into it. It looks like this has sunk into the swamp, though, over time. And so you guys are going to have to go through some more cavernous, dirty, gross, foresty parts to get into the actual building itself. There might be swimming involved.
Okay.
But there are...
Unless we cut in from the top.
Maybe.
You could try.
What material does it look like it's made out of?
You aren't sure, but some form of stone. However, knowing that this is probably an ancient building, probably as hard as anything your buildings are built out of, and you probably didn't bring anything super heavy to drill through it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Alright. We shall proceed, and we will head towards this place and look for any entrances that are above ground. Or above the water, I should say.
Well, you know that there are... Let me just scoot my little camera, because I have this dungeon. You have what looks to be about 2 major entrances that you could get into easily. One is on the north side, one's on the south side, so you could go around and do the other one. Or you could go
Do
in
they
the
both
north.
involve swimming of some sort, probably?
No, those are the ones that are above.
These will be leading
water.
into essentially little tree tunnels where it kind of, the dirt and trees and swamp kind of form little natural caves that are above the water.
Like vents.
Like a vent.
All right. You don't have to tell Dave twice.
But would you like the north one that's closer to you guys or the one on the other side? 'Cause
I'm
there are
not going to be patient at this point. I'm just going to get in the hole.
Yeah, we may as well go for the northern one, so it's more direct on the way back to the ship if we need it.
Can already use a perception to try and get an idea, gauge which one might be more safe.
You could try.
Could try.
You're doing perception to look at it, and I'll tell you what you see.
That is going to make a 19, I believe. Yes, 19.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, you see this tunnel, you see these things. There is a snake along the kind of slithering across the top of one of them. It's actually almost a bright yellow looking thing and looks a bit more like an eel than an actual snake, but it is slithering on over. Seems pretty chill though.
To which one?
The closest one.
The closest
but it doesn't seem very aggressive, it's just slithering.
Like, hey Dave! That snake there needs some jarring.
I didn't understand what you said.
There's a snake that needs jarring.
A snake. Oh, a snake that needs to be jarred.
Yes, that is what it said.
Kill a snake.
It said, I love how the DM is already like able to understand Artie.
No, I can
This is the
understand
real
it. That's why I
reason.
hate it.
No,
This is the real reason why he's like, so do we want to go back to fantasy?
I just don't have to listen to Artie anymore.
So, that's a fair point. Can we get the snake and put it in a
You
jar?
try?
Okay.
Alright. What are you gonna do?
Grab the snake, put it in a jar.
How are you gonna do it? You're just gonna walk over and you're gonna fly over?
I'm gonna strike from above.
Okay.
He's got that assassin's ability.
Little stealth. Try not to alert the snake.
Stealth is a 20.
Okay, yeah, you're gonna do fine. Yeah, the snake didn't even see you coming. It was just happily slithering along, just like snaking its way through these branches.
Snaking
And all
its
of a sudden
way
it gets
downtown.
seized by this
Making its way
cold.
downtown.
No, snaking its way downtown.
Face is past and it's homebound.
Right. Before we go into the tunnels, do we have communication with the ship? Dave's ship, at least.
You do.
Nice.
You could communicate with them, however, they're not entirely. They're ill, man. You don't want to know.
You gotta be able to talk to them. On
You
the
need to
level.
speak the language, man.
So
Can I add to my language proficiencies that I speak ill?
He speaks ill of people.
He speaks ill to people.
It's like local slang.
Sure, yeah, you can add useless slang
Okay.
to your stuffaroonie.
Whatever makes Dave happy.
Okay. Well, alright, you have a snake that is very upset. It's not happy. It's been grabbed.
It's in the jar.
It's like, no! It's a big snake. Do you have a big enough jar?
Ben, I always have a big enough jar.
Are you sure about that?
We established that very early on.
Okay, fine.
Infinite jar space. That was the deal.
You know what? It was the deal. You may have the snake in a jar. The snake is
It'd be
like,
a large enough jar that it can, poke holes in the top and,
Well, yeah, but
Okay.
I assume that you already prepared this because you're you. So yes,
That's why we went to the swamp, yes.
yeah, you have the snake in a large jar. It's now that it's
more
in
of a
there, it's like
terrarium.
okay.
Or
Yeah.
a terrarium, yeah.
The snake has accepted its fate now.
Accepting.
Classic snake issues, snake life.
It's the snake life.
Cool.
Snake life did not choose.
All right.
Anyway,
Glad we were productive about this, guys. This is good.
I'm glad that we've
It's already been a successful trip from my perspective, so,
Dave's good.
Yeah, we're good. We can go back if you want. I mean, got what I came for.
Clearly, this is what Tikita wanted. Was a snake in a jar.
Sure.
That actually brings up, did she describe to us what she wanted?
She wanted ancient relics of religious value
Snakes.
and maybe to remove any major threats and provide information on the actual building and to see what it was because they haven't done
He's
that.
already
I have a
removed the
pretty bad
major
religion
threat.
score, so it would
We
be-
could send back several tons of snakes.
Well, you can always roll a religion check to see if snakes are a religious value.
I'll roll a religion check to see if snakes are religious value.
Yeah, alright.
I got a 19 base. That's 22.
You do know that there are some groups that believe snakes who have religious value. These are actually quite official because they are in the form of the Great Leviathan, the first great terror that hunted the first Empress. across the stars. This creature was 1,000,000 miles long.
So you need 1,000,000 miles of snakes.
That's what the legends say.
So, can an infinite jar an infinite snake? That's the question that we all ask ourselves.
This snake you have is about 3 feet,
Right.
and it's only about 2 inches wide at its thickest.
Which means that it's longer than I am tall. So,
Only several million snakes to go.
we'll reassemble this giant snake.
Just
You also know that creature was
Human centipede style. We'll just-
You do know that creature was an aberration, and you do know that this would be valuable to them to know of more things that would help them depict it as a great creature that is also somewhat
Okay.
tamed by the Empire now. They have
That's fair.
creatures like it.
propaganda, tame snakes.
Yeah.
Well, the idea was that
Yeah.
she killed the first one
Yeah.
and tamed the second one coming for revenge. So
Whoa.
they actually do have a domestic snake of sorts, or two. They
As
are
in, like,
extremely
an elk?
valuable,
Cool. Cool.
and they would have religious value. So yeah, that snake could be valuable. I was hoping you wouldn't know that.
Check. Box.
However, it may not be valuable to the other imperial heirs and heiresses, which is what Tikidi might care more about.
Okay.
Because, that's why she got sent here. This was her big chance.
All right. So,
Alright, in we go.
in the holes.
All right.
Into the
Alright.
tree tunnel that is ahead of us.
I follow after Dave.
In the hole.
Threat has been removed.
I guess I'll carry up the rear again.
Alright. Now, where's the dwarf, though?
In front of me, I'm just pushing him along, just making sure he doesn't fall asleep.
Sleepy dwarf.
Yeah,
Sleepy dwarf, sleepy dwarf.
it's
Oh,
a
we
it's
should
a
make
sleepy swamp.
Lullaby song. It's-
Sleepy
Don't
dwarf
make
the
me,
song.
don't tempt me on this. I will make a sleepy swamp. You don't even know. So yeah, you guys go into this kind of dark cave, and those with dark vision are fine. Those without, this is dim light.
Okay.
So there you know.
Alright. Dark vision.
I have dark vision.
I have the dark vision.
I'm pretty sure I don't.
As expected.
I'm blind.
Well, somebody was more willing to give somebody else a piggyback. Maybe I'd help you out.
I accept my blindness.
I'd do it.
Oh gosh.
But seriously, does anybody... So all of you have dark vision.
Yeah, and I assume we're all going through the same hole, so you're with us.
Yeah, so you
Senyoran's the
were...
only one that doesn't
I have dark
also.
vision.
Oh, you do?
Okay, well,
He's weird.
I'm half elf.
I'm going to say... I'm going to hope that I would be allowed to be carrying a flashlight, because my character does not light fires. That's one of
You
the
may use a torch as if it were a flashlight.
That reminds me. Off story for
So
a
I
second.
have a light source,
Cool.
and I'm leading the way with that light source.
Okay.
Okay, sorry, pause because I totally forgot
Okay.
a thing. The bug armor that Worf was supposed to help me with, and I was supposed to, in return, help him make a gun arm.
We
Okay.
haven't done that yet. Oh, yes.
But there was like a whole month worth of passing for that.
That is true. We'll be able to finish it at the end of the session,
Okay.
which will be useful because it will come into play in the upcoming few sessions that remain. Yeah, so you guys go into this, and these tunnels are complex, almost labyrinthine. You guys
It is
come
nothing
upon
but
a
a
room.
mistake.
This first room, though, that you guys follow and eventually reach, is larger. It's more of a kind of almost a large grove formed out of all this nonsense that makes the tunnels. And there is quite a lot of water filling most of it. There's at least 2 feet of air going across the ceiling and sort of the ground, but eventually the corners get pretty small and the water in the middle might look pretty deep. So you have about 5 feet around the edges of it in sort of a vaguely circular pond.
Okay.
and it's still quite wide and long. But yeah, it's pretty short. The only person who has trouble with this is Signorin, but
Naturally.
That's how it be.
Yeah, Artie is definitely sticking to the edges. How is the goblin guy faring out?
He is fine. He hunches quite easily. He is more than adept at this. Just behind you. Yes, and you guys are entering this room from what appears to be... appears to be the north. So this room opens up into a large room to the west and to the south, since you're going down.
I say south. We continue straight.
Right. Into the main structure of the dome.
Yeah.
Just let's avoid the water.
Well, as you get in there, what is... Okay. So those with high passive perception, that's higher than 14. So 14 or higher passive perception, you'll notice that there are a whole bunch of really interesting carved faces along the eastern wall.
Mine is typically a 13, but I've got the ability that allows me to add my proficiency.
Then that'll count.
So, okay.
They are monstrous faces, and you are quite aware as well of this moldy odor that's in the south, that's just wafting over from the southeast corner. Just.
There's something bad over there.
Where's the dwarf? What'd you do, dwarf?
He's still
What'd you
sleeping.
do? No, I don't think he understands.
No, I heard.
Okay, I was just checking. I was just seeing if you were awake. Alright,
I think we need to splash
I am
some cold water on
most definitely going to
Yeah.
be skulking around the corner of the room, not in the middle of it.
Okay.
I'm kind of peeking into that corner myself on my way towards the south entrance.
Alright. So as you guys go around the eastern kind of shore of this pond, you are aware that in that corner there are these two almost really ugly people, I guess.
Ugly people.
No, my weakness.
They're not necessarily like that weird, but they do look like they are extremely emaciated,
Ooh.
and they just look like they have never eaten a day in their life, and like they've seen better days. They're pretty filthy, and they're just there kind of washing each other's hair. They have long, nasty hair that they're washing out in this pond.
But they are
And
people.
it seems like the smell's coming from them.
But they are people.
They look like humans, or near humans, or most, people that would look like you.
Humanoid.
Fish
Alright.
people.
They look like, they look a bit darker than you, maybe, in like a grayish, less pigmented way.
Okay.
And they're just there, just washing and kind of murdering to themselves. They kind of, one of them is keeping an eye on you guys that you're aware of, but the other one does not seem to act like they know
Alright.
you're there.
Naturally, Sunken's going to introduce himself. Hello, mates. They responded all.
They seem to be fine.
They both look at you like you're weird.
Do you speak common? Or how can we figure out what language they speak?
Everybody just speak.
I'm going
in
to attempt to
the
speak
languages.
ill to them.
Everybody speak a different language.
Let
We'll
me
figure it out.
check. I
All
know
at the
what
same
language
time.
they do speak.
Yeah.
We'll respond to one of us.
So
A curse on you and your houses. That's why I speak ill.
They speak in a really awkward, broken, and antiquated tongue that you may not be comfortable with, especially in such a strange dimension. However, you do vaguely get understandings of what on earth are you doing here, which is mainly translated by your deity and not by your ability to understand it.
Right.
This is the first time we've seen
Natives.
natives.
Yeah. We're just passing through. We're coming to inspect this large dome.
I don't like this. In some cultures, there are monsters that hang out in ponds similar to these creatures, and I don't think we should.
But if they are natives, we should interact with them. It might be useful to gain the trust of them.
But keep your distance.
naturally.
Okay. So,
I'm always
we
looking
told
for
them
music.
we are headed for the center of the dome.
Yeah, we're headed to the dome. We're just trying to inspect it. We're newcomers here.
All right. They respond after a bit of muttering and kind of like weird gestures you're not familiar with. It is weird. It's almost like you're trying to communicate with somebody who does not, in fact, speak very much your language, or something incredibly silly like that, and it's going to play now. I gotta turn off the music. All right. Eventually, they are saying that they think you are intruding, and that you should give them something to prove that you're not evil in their little house.
Okay. What is it that you desire as tribute then?
I offer you this stylus that can write on metal.
Not my stylus!
Throw it to you now.
At first, they were not interested, but the moment Artie wanted it, one of them was like, yes, 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 yes.
Artie will make a dive for his stylus.
All right.
All right. Do I need to roll anything? Because I'm just going to toss it towards them.
Please roll an attack as if you were rolling dex for like throwing a weapon.
Okay, so it's a dex.
Yeah, roll. You're not proficient with stylus, so just roll dex bonus.
All right. So that's a 19 to toss it.
Cool. That's a 19 toss. Artie, you're gonna have to do really well with acrobatics in order to catch it. You'll have to beat 19.
So you rolled a 3.
You jump and you splash into the water. It's gross and it's clammy and muddy. And the two stop for a moment and just start laughing their heads off. And they're just cackling away and they're just like trying to hide it, but they're disproportionately loud. It's almost like shaking the roof of the branches and stuff. They're just tickled pink. But they do pick the stylus out from the mess, and they have it, and they're like, they're willing to. They're like, okay. They're amused. They think you guys are funny.
I offer them the ornate ceremonial chain in exchange for the stylus.
No.
What was the ceremonial chain made out of again?
It was gold, I believe.
It wasn't gold.
Wasn't it? It was.
No.
I don't know. Was this from the last episode? I don't remember.
It was
a fancy, precious metal. I think you said it looked gold. You couldn't quite tell because it was in the cave and it was dead.
It was very weak.
It was a weak chain. Like.
it was right. It was gold, but it was ceremonial
It was
only.
ceremonial,
It was like a weak golden like decoration.
Yeah.
They are. One of them might be willing. Roll I guess persuasion,
Yes.
since you're trying to trade.
Yes.
You're trying to convince this creepy, emaciated lady of the value of a golden chain
I'm gonna throw in a lucky dice with this
for
roll.
what is clearly the pen you desire above all else.
Yes. Stylus back. That's a 19 base plus a keyhole. And I think my...
You and your stupid dice.
I know, hey, it worked last time. I got like 5 D20s
Oh, that
or
will
something.
convince them both.
No.
Yes.
Very cautiously, they try to make the trade. Do you try any funny business?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, they, after a bit of they barely want to part with it, but they give you the stylus out of the goodness of their hearts.
Thank you.
And very much take the chain and kind of bicker among themselves about who really deserves the chain.
You could split it
You
in
can
half.
split it, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give them my metal
That
toy.
is obviously wrong.
I
You
will-
cannot split this gorgeous thing.
I will give them my metal toy.
Which one?
The one that I found in the place with all the bugs.
All right, you give them a metal toy. They're confused, but they appreciate gifts.
Okay.
Are there many more like you?
They kind of cackle at that a bit, and then they don't really answer, and then probably. You get the sense that yes, there are more like them.
Do you need food?
They do like food. They're like
Do they eat random
What
stuff
do
in
you
jars?
want? Like, what do you
I've watched
want
that.
for it?
Just friendship.
Safe passage. Let us
We're
raise-
newcomers here. We indeed are the, I guess, trespassers of your land.
Maybe
We're offering you tribute to pass through. Perhaps open up a friendship with you.
maybe they know where these artifacts are. We can ask them, like, we'll give you food in exchange for these artifacts that we're looking for. They probably have them somewhere.
Okay,
They're looking
okay.
in them.
Yeah.
I always carry a
Rare
spare piece of
artifacts.
bread
All right.
on me now.
Oh, they have good. You guys making me roll on dice tables. Goodness gracious.
We apologize.
Well, I mean, I was not expecting to roll for treasure that they might know about, so that's my bad, I suppose. Because I wasn't expecting every single creature in this dungeon to be discussed with. I should know better.
I would have
This is the
walked
group
by.
that had to open up every single door in the tower in
I'm gonna smack
Dormira.
you. Just, I know who you guys are. I should have known better.
So Yoren talks to everyone and everything.
I mean, you know, we've got to find more members to convert to the Order of the Daggerrat.
Precisely.
Maybe I should click on these. Yeah, these are good. Let's loot. Okay, it's gonna take a moment to load. They keep kind of looking back and discussing and kind of muttering and making little gestures and hand signs and like maneuvering little things beneath the water and kind of like pointing at things. They have a little like one of them draws a little diagram. It's very complex. But eventually they do tell you that they have they have some valuable stuff that they might give away for the right price. They have some rare gems. They're willing to show you some of their gems. They're a bit muddy and they wash them off a little bit. Looks like they've been hiding them beneath the mud, as any intelligent soul would do.
Right.
And they show this blue quartz and these lapis lazuli ones they've gathered. And then this deep green spinel that's pretty big. Looks like it'd be valuable. They also have a shield of sorts. This sort of almost ancient kind of almost technology. It's almost science fiction-y kind of wooden thing. But it does look like it could be pretty tough. They have some armor that they have acquired. They have mostly kept in the mud as well. And they have these two other things that are far more valuable looking, as well as a potion with a fang in it that's just sort of boiling. But these two other things they have a crossbow of sorts. It is definitely a relic from an older era. This thing can actually project, quite powerfully. It could be something you guys might actually use. And this is highly made. This is like an artisan's work, so not mass-produced in any way. There's also another thing like that, a little kind of almost like a shield generator that could be used and held in an arm to like repel things kind of at distance, like most shields are used, but this is also a masterwork. It looks like some ancient artisan had relics that they have found.
Dibs on the crossbow.
Dibs on the shield generator.
Because, I'm like,
Yeah, well, what would you like to trade for the crossbow? Because they have these on hand. The other stuff they don't really want. They don't really know about. They warn you of not nice things in the muck.
Are there things like monsters, or like if we were to go?
They seem
further
to think they're monsters, yeah.
So there's more relics in the muck that are dangerous.
There's more and more and more the deeper you go into the thing, but the worse it gets. And there used to be 3 sisters. Now there are 2.
I'm gonna start laying out all of the jars of my various things that I have.
Just put all the jars on.
I'm laying them out. I'm like, take your
Okay.
pick.
They're like, oh, the snake is edible. They will give you. They will trade some of their gems, their cheaper gems, not the big one.
No, to be clear, I'm only interested in that crossbow thing.
Oh, well, they're like,
None of the jars?
what do you have in the jars, man? You have a lot of stuff. I don't remember it all.
I have 3 burning spider jars.
They like those, but it's not a crossbow yet.
I have a Daggerrat in a jar.
The Daggerrat is weird.
I have
They're not sure about
Elements of Space Dwarf in a jar.
that. That is interesting. They like that too, but it's not a crossbow yet because
I
this
have-
is sort of an artifact of legend.
Hints of Space Rat in a jar.
Hints of space.
I have some eyes that stare at people as
They
walk
do like
past.
those eyes. What would you roll
It
persuasion?
really fit into their decor, I feel like.
Roll
Yeah.
persuasion.
Some extra
Let's see
eyes.
how much they will be willing to trade less.
Alright.
Because if they had their way, they'd take everything you have. But let's see how convincing you are and what they might want.
No, it's a 13.
Oh, that's decent. They would take the spiders, the eyes, and the space dwarf giblets.
That's a tough bargain.
But they will give you the crossbow,
Drive a
and
hard
they
bargain.
polish it up a bit and kind of like, show you it. And it is actually high quality as a.
I'm gonna make a really, really big show about how it agonizes me to get these jars over to them.
Oh, do it. Roll performance, man. Roll it.
Not the jar with the eyes!
Rolls a dice for you.
That's a nat 20.
They're so
The
convinced.
hand of God reached out and rolled
They-
it for me.
Yeah, basically. They're so convinced, they're so sad, they're willing to take only 2 of those. Because they are like, they're moved to
Then you're definitely getting the
tears.
spiders and the space dwarf elements.
It was such a
Gotta keep the
pitiful,
eyes.
Keeping the
sad
eyes.
scene that they couldn't help themselves. So, okay, they only take 2 of those. And they give you the crossbow. And also give you a lapis lazuli. It's like, just please, just stop crying, you pathetic
Please
creature.
stop crying.
Because you're a
Please
kobold,
be
you have
comforted.
advantage on looking pathetic, so
That's true.
frankly, they never
little-
stood a chance.
The little guy with gloves.
Would
with
anyone
fucking jars
else
on his back.
like to trade with them?
Indeed. Alright.
They have the magic fang potion.
I would very much like the force field generator.
Ooh, okay, that is quite expensive, but they seem to not consider it as expensive as the previous one. You can roll persuasion if you'd like to, or
Right.
deception, or whatever you're trying to trade or sell.
We will roll
Money-
persuasion.
Can work. They can trade for money as long as they have a physical way to represent it.
Well, that is an 11.
Okay, so they're not in any way bargained down too
Right.
much.
So was he gonna use money?
Do you have anything that you would like to trade as
Wait,
in
but
barter?
that was an attempt to use money for it, right?
Well, I mean, I do.
Either or.
I did convert all of those little gem things I had earlier into money, so I do have a little.
However, if you convinced them that they can trade the money back at your camp, then
I will take out my spare piece of bread and the money, and I'll say, this is
yeah.
food that we carry with us.
11 would let them know that you have a place they can trade the money at,
Right.
which they might want to visit.
Right. So I will take out the bread and the money, and I'll say, you can use the money at the place to get whatever you want. And also, we have lots of food at the place.
Yeah.
Like
The
this
money
food.
is interesting because a lot of it is in coins and they do respect that. Very, very fancy, high tech, shiny, basically invulnerable coins, but yeah.
Can I assist him by saying, no, not the coins,
You may.
anything but the
They very
coins?
much. They look okay. They respect you, man. They already respect you. They will trade.
20.
They will
They're
trade
just
little
stressed
kobold
that you're
like,
upset again.
why?
for 2. They really seem to like the. Just the vaguely shinier and slightly larger coin that is a gold. They'd like one of those. It's worth a lot.
Gold.
How much do you have?
I have 15 silver.
Oh, well,
I traded all my money
They
at a
were
discount.
shown the silver. They'll take the silver then. They want all the silver.
Right.
Or at least they would have if he wasn't pathetic. So they will take 10 silver instead of 15.
I'll give them 10 silver.
Alright, they have taken the 10 silver. You get a masterwork light steel shield. That's
Artie-
medium.
Artie will
And worth
offer.
159 gold pieces because it's a relic.
Nice.
This is a collector's item, and yeah. Yours is a masterwork light crossbow that's medium, by the way.
Okay.
And that's worth 335 gold pieces.
Dang.
Like, these are valuable relics, not because of their use, but because this is the stuff that a rich man wants on his wall.
I will use it.
They also have the magic fang potion, which they seem to value highly. And
Yes.
it makes you wonder what they got the fang from.
Artie will barter for that one. He will offer his mechanical services to make something really cool out of whatever.
They live in a swamp and they don't really have a ton of mechanical stuff, so you're gonna have to roll persuasion and roll really well because they don't get what you're trying to sell them.
I'm thinking I've got artisan tools, but I'm thinking Artie's more mechanics than actual art. I was thinking like I could do something with the gems that they have to make them cooler.
You could. Do you have anything on hand? Like, what stuff do you have? Because they would prefer to trade. They are not necessarily in a position of machinery,
What if I offered
since they've
to?
given away 2 of their greatest machines.
I did trade them that chain. What if I offered to enhance the chain somehow with their pretty gems and make
Like
it
a
cool?
necklace. You could offer that, roll persuasion to see if they think that's valuable in any way.
13 plus. Where's my persuasion at? 3 makes 16.
They think it might be valuable, but not fully. They'll need a little something extra to really
Can I
take on the
assist?
risk that they're taking.
Can I assist in that one too?
Please.
And I'll be like, I'll start flailing around in the water
At this
really
point,
dramatically.
they just they put like they just like put a bag on him, like between them and him or something. They like hide themselves from him because they're like they're aware now that he's trying to push it a bit far.
No, I'm gonna give them really big doe eyes.
Yeah, they try really hard to
Out of
like
the water,
hide their hair in front of themselves. They are doing their best not to look at you.
the quivering lip and everything.
You were being avoided like you were a gorgon.
Okay, I pushed my luck too hard. Sorry, guys.
Oh my goodness.
You'll get some
Just guys, that was my forte, is looking pathetic. So my superpower.
Yeah.
The only other thing I could throw in a little bit of money. I do have some of those pretty shiny silver coins.
You could throw those in. They do take those.
I'm just gonna give her. I'm gonna give Artie my lapis lazuli.
If you were
use.
to, they seem to think that if you gave them at least 10 silver shiny coins, because that was what the other one was given, it's only right that you match it.
Oh yeah. I will give them 20. I will double
They
the offer.
appreciate this. They're fine with that. They'll take 20 of those and your service on on improving their gems and necklace. They'll let you take the gems one at a time to do it, and they expect it to be done like in a bit. So you guys are going to be here for at least 30 minutes. What do you guys want to do while you wait for Artie to do work?
I'm also going to see if I can bargain. What else do they have?
They have a very rich gem. They have an ancient suit of armor that vaguely resembles the dark armor worn by the people you fought at the beginning. And they have an ancient shield. So they have a rare gem. It's pretty large. They have this old shield that's sort of something they've built, and it seems to pulse with energy at odd times. And there's a suit of armor that they have acquired that's similar to what the people you fought wear, and looks pretty valuable. Looks like it'd be an ancient relic of that too. So that's really unique. Like, that'd be worth a lot. They seem to, so they showed it, but they're also kind of like, but it's very strong, very special. Look at this, you know.
How does the
Is
shield?
the armor heavy? Would it count as heavy armor or
it is
medium?
medium armor. It would be considered half plate.
Okay.
The shield that they have is considered dark wood, and it is medium. Darkwood has weird powers, mostly that it's very tough, and that it resists things like fire better than you'd think, as well as light. It is in fact a dark.
Ta-da. I offer up my crowbar to them in exchange for the armor. Is that enough to impress them?
Not enough for this. They'll take it, but they need a lot more. The crowbar's cool. They like it. But it's a tool they understand. It's not something really rare. And they prefer the rare things.
Would...
Do you know how valuable half plate is, by the way, for you? How? Okay, so half plate, yeah, it's pretty good. It's not like full plate or anything, but it's almost as good as you can get for medium armor. And this would be a collector's item, which would be very valuable. You could wear it. It's going to be a bit larger than you are, but you can grow to fit it or build yourself into it. And this would probably be worth like 600 gold pieces back at the right people back at home. So while they're not going to go that high because they don't know that, it's still very valuable to them. They may have even killed the person who had it. Who knows? They seem to be very attached. You're going to have to do more than crowbar.
Well, I can also offer my chain shirt, of course. And
okay, well, they like that. They're like, oh, okay. Shirt for a shirt makes sense. They like that. It's not enough, but it's close. They're halfway there. Roll persuasion, by the way, just to see how much you really are. Maybe a little less than halfway.
That's only 7 persuasion.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe a little less than halfway.
All right.
Do you have any money?
No, I have no money.
Oh darn.
Unless you said that we got paid recently.
Yes. And remember, 1,000 silver is 1 gold, so you probably got paid in gold.
Okay.
So you have about 2 gold.
Are they interested in 2 gold?
They think gold is pretty neat. They think, wow, these gold coins are pretty nifty too. These silver are cool, but these gold are cool too. They're almost there. Do you have anything else to sweeten the deal? Because they're just not sold yet, but they want to be sold.
I have some nice caltrops, 15 of them.
Ooh, sharp,
balls
spiky.
That you can throw down.
All right. They'll take those. They think
dragons.
those have lots of potential that they might use to probably nefarious deeds, as strange swamp women do.
All right.
And they'll trade the armor. So now you have this half plate, medium armor that's worth 600 GP.
All right.
And they seem okay with the deal. They're not as happy as they were with some of the others, but you know.
Even with the gold?
The gold is what pushed them over the edge of like, okay, this is rare. We haven't seen this. You know, and this, the way you acted was very much, oh, this is very rich, because your persuasion was really bad, so you weren't very good at making it more than it seemed, but you weren't that bad, so it was like, oh, okay.
To ease them up,
The only thing of value they have left is a gem and a shield. As in their wood shield.
And the stuff that we've given them.
Yes, but then you guys are gonna buy. If you want to.
To ease up the loss of the armor, I will also give them some poisons from my poisoner's kit.
Oh, they're very much happy with that deal then. They respect that. They're like, oh yes, these are valuable and so strange, so foreign.
I'm going to assume that I can't use the poisoner's kit until next session as a result of giving away poisons.
You
I'll
have
just disable
given a significant amount of poisoner material, so yeah, you need to restock.
Okay. Then that is how I pay.
Excellent. Is that everyone's business with these fine ladies, I guess?
Yep, that's kind of all I got.
Yes.
Cool. So after a few more minutes and Artie finishing tinkering with these, Artie, roll. Let's see, what's
So
your
upset that you got
skill?
that stylus back.
Yes.
Try to roll performance, I guess.
Or Dex.
Performance or Arcana? Which one's better?
My Arcana's a 4, my performance is a 1, so definitely going for Arcana.
Yeah, go for Arcana, which is probably the use of your tools and putting it together.
It's gonna be a 9.
Anybody else want to help with that? It looks like Artie is having trouble not having worked with chains and gyms almost ever, probably.
I think I'm probably as close as I can get because I have Smith's proficiency in Smith.
Oh yeah, you can do that. Let's see what you roll. See how much you can help.
I don't know what smithing was.
Survival or something.
If it's survival, that's a 15.
Cool. So yeah, you were able to essentially teach Artie how to do this right and not break the gyms.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be an okay product. It's nothing that's legendary, but it's enough that they do appreciate
He
it.
tried very hard.
Uh,
He will put his little insignia on
They
it
don't
with the
seem
stylus
upset
on
at it,
You
so
got
it's
that?
like fair trade. You know.
And Artie will sign his name with the stylus that he reacquired.
Unfortunate. Anyway. So here we are, and they're pretty chill.
I tried.
Pretty chill. So now what? Keep moving through?
I think we'll finally carry on, yeah.
Shoot, really?
Yeah. Eventually we have
Alright,
to.
so you're gonna continue further to the east and south, southeast around them and their little shore.
Sure.
Okay. There's yeah, you guys sort of see this sort of more narrow entrance to a more slightly, you know, it's not a steep drop, but there's like a foot in this upcoming dark sort of tunnel into another potentially interesting room that I have to read what is actually in it.
Okay.
There's many rooms, and I do not have time to memorize them all. This room, however, would be very wet. You do have the material to breathe underwater
Yeah,
for
good.
time. You have at least an hour underwater
Is the room flooded
with your
then?
suits. It is flooded, and you can see the reflection towards the end of it. As the kind of the hull gets lower, it just lowers into this flooded hull.
Is that the only way forward?
That's the major way forward, anyway.
That sounds ominous.
Artie has already
Probably
got
shouldn't get stuck underwater.
That is the.
drenched getting his stylus
There was
back,
the other
so-
way out of that room, but it did look like that didn't have any easy ways forward either. So this does seem to be a pretty direct path.
So is there open air like above the water?
No, not in this room. But there
It's just
was.
full water.
It's just going to go into full water. However, there might be air pockets and things that can just replenish you for another hour as you go. So you can go and
I don't
then.
like to talking about multiple hours underwater.
Think of them like vents.
Like flooded vents. That would be terrible.
I specifically do not like
They
being
are-
underwater.
they are-
Vents are designed not to get flooded. That's
They are
the vents,
aquatic
so-
vents, though. It's a different kind of vent. Like
That's
the
fair.
like the tree branches were.
So after you, Artie, I feel like Artie should go first because
He's already wet, getting his stylus back. He's like, all right, there's no avoiding this. He'll get in the water.
we sent Artie first as sacrifice.
This is a sacrifice.
Is there a red shirt?
Sure. Just
I'm
look up,
okay with
see if I
like
have
being
the
underwater.
data I need.
What was that?
I don't like being underwater. All of my spells are verbal, and so it becomes difficult to speak underwater.
I also don't like being underwater.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm not crazy about it either.
So you guys enter the water.
No, Hertzman's not crazy about it. You wanted to go to the swamp.
Yes. You know why.
In this
Some things
room,
I'm less crazy
the
about.
water is quite dark, of course. So this room is considered fully dark.
Okay.
But in this kind of large, almost pool, there is sort of a door up ahead that you can vaguely see the opening to. And there is almost flat floor to the bottom of this pool. What's up? What are you guys gonna do? There's stuff in the water at the bottom, but you guys want to go all the way down to the normal floor, or are you gonna just try to swim through the room?
There's stuff on the water at the bottom. What do you mean?
Yeah,
Stuff?
like there's a large box-like shape
The crate, you said.
kind of leaned against the wall. It's a bit long for a
Can we
crate.
use the portals to teleport that crate thing to a safer place?
Oh, what?
Can we use it?
It's underwater. You can't use it for this stuff.
That's true.
Well, I mean, I can. It's just difficult.
He has to roll for it.
I was gonna say if he can use one of his portals to teleport.
However,
the crate.
you can use, since this is sci-fi, I'm going to let you use a torch underwater if you wish.
Well, just like an aquatic flashlight.
Yeah, well, I'm sure somebody has an ability to do that.
I was the one.
Your
carrying-
hobgoblin might, who is just breathing. He's just like,
I was the one who needed a flashlight, and we can just say that it works underwater, so we
Yeah,
can see
yeah.
this crate more clearly.
So,
Yes.
Senor, are your portals spell based, or can you just?
they are magic.
They are magic, yeah.
Okay.
They mess with the strange way that hyperspace does. It's a very messy thing.
Yeah. So if I wanted to cast teleportations in the water, would I have to roll performance, Arcana?
Performance, because it's doing the thing. It's,
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys want the crate back up to the surface?
Here, let's bring it someplace where it's not as difficult to get to.
Okay. So you're gonna try to teleport it there?
Yeah.
Make your roll.
That's a 7?
Oh, all right. And does that do anything terrible for you?
No.
Good. Just in case. However, your teleport has this weird fizzly and gross, and you only half formed the words before messing it up a little bit. And instead of the crate, you just open these small holes in the back of the room where you came that just pour water. And this disturbs these two figures that have been resting in the water next to this crate. Oh no. And they kind of emerge into vague vision in the dark water, and they begin to mutter things and perform their own magic as well to kind of like, you know.
Can we give the crate back hastily?
The
crate is still there.
However,
I just took a bunch of the water out.
Well,
yeah, they kind of warp the water and the kind of almost the air in it to produce these strange like shapes in front of you of moving things and these hideous images. They're very gross. These are vaguely humanoid but also vaguely reptilian in their hands and faces. They have these cold, unblinking eyes.
I try touching them to see if they are physically there.
They are, and they get very upset.
Great.
Wait,
Did you
touching
try
the
to touch
people
one
or
of
the
The
Images.
strange reptilian shapes that these creatures have
no
created.
the creatures are reptilian. They've made shapes.
Well, you're both
water.
right. They're both reptilian.
Okay.
The shapes they make are vaguely reptilian. They're vaguely reptilian.
So she's talking about touching the shapes they made.
Oh, the shape's there.
Not
Okay,
not
you touch the shape, and the shape kind of swirls a bit. They didn't like that, though, and so one of them does a weird thing, and these vines from the ceiling begin to slap down into the water and try to grab you. Roll dexterity saving throw.
Well, we should get out of this room. So it's specifically coming from me.
Yeah, you touched their spooky images.
Okay, so that's
They didn't like
15
that.
and a dex save.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, you avoid these slithering branches that are slow, but so much faster than any plant has any right to be. And what languages do you know?
Draconic, Common, and Ill.
Roll. Give me a history check.
10.
That's good enough. That's good enough for this. You are aware they speak Draconic. And one of the other ones is very upset at the failure of the vines.
Because the vines didn't wrap them up.
Yes.
Can I speak to them using Draconic but also in Ill?
You can do that.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say if that's going to help or hurt your cause.
It probably will hurt. No, I'm just kidding. I'll speak to them in Draconic and I'll just say, "What's up, home slices?" That's what Draconic sounds like if you translate it in English.
Yeah, that's proper
home
Draconic.
slice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm doing my best. They don't. It's not
surprised.
one-to-one translation. Yeah.
They're surprised because you were in the back and they didn't see you.
And I'm also very tiny.
Yes, they. One of them is like, "Why on earth are you here? Leave the dead alone."
Just chilling with my homies, bro.
The dead. What?
Again, translating from Draconic.
Yeah. As you get to it, yeah. So they're not happy. They think you're invading the place. Is what they say eventually.
Can I just?
Why are you in their crib?
Can I explain that I'm not? That we're not fronting. We're just. We're here to.
Yeah, roll for persuasion.
Okay.
Or is this deception or intimidation? I really don't know.
You didn't mean to get all up in their grill, you man.
leading up in their grill.
So this is persuasion because you're
Alright.
trying to be honest.
All right. That's a 10.
All right. Well, they respect that, but they're like, don't disturb. You know, the dead should stay undisturbed.
Oh,
They're
so,
very upset.
so the box is a coffin.
So I'll clarify.
It is very
Is that-
clearly as
is
you
that-
guys are able to get closer without being spelled at and maybe bitten. Then you are very much aware. It's an iron It's almost an iron sarcophagus that's just laid against the wall. It's ancient and
apologies.
strange.
So
Wow.
I'll just ask him who died.
They have no idea. They look at you like you're a bit crazy, but they're like, the ancients died
Then why are you here?
because we live here.
Alright.
Okay.
We protect the ancients, and the ancients give guidance.
Cool. Cool.
Yep. Yeah, so let me see the
Well, this is all fascinating, but I think we should carry on.
okay.
Bother
just
these
get
people
going.
no more.
Yeah. Give them our apologies.
Sorry, it looked like a crate.
So yeah, in the previous room you
This
guys
has got a
dealt
thing,
with some
it's a
things.
crate.
All right, we have made it in 2 rooms, you guys.
That's pretty
Yay.
fantastic.
Let's carry on.
The
And not
floor
bother
you
these
notice
shamans.
as you're there, it's actually a mural of sort of perhaps the stars on the floor.
Can I compliment them on their paint job?
They didn't do it. They're like, the ancients were so cool. They love the ancients. They're like, the ancients truly knew the universe.
They were truly OGs.
Yeah.
Okay, let me do.
Now, there is one doorway out of this room, and they're fine with that. One of them goes back to sleeping next to the coffin.
That's not creepy at all.
He, if you say that,
No, that's not me. That's just.
well, the other lizard folk would have just been like, well, we're better to sleep than by the most wise.
Touche.
On our
Perhaps
way.
we will gain dreams.
Respect.
Gain
Oh, that's creepy.
acquire.
Well, they're shamans. What do you think they do?
They sleep with dead bodies
They
to.
sleep with coffins. Come on, it's not that weird. It's sealed completely on
Once you
investigation.
clarify, they sleep next to the dead bodies.
And they watch over them because it is imperative that you honor your elders.
Now, as
True
we
that.
head towards this entrance, I did a quick religion check of 18 on the painting
Yes.
murals as we carried by.
You are aware of the star's significance in religion. It is an ancient part of religion that has existed for thousands of years and still remains.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
This would be not uncommon to be found in many religious sites.
Does anyone want to like take a picture or something?
Artie does not have an underwater camera.
Most people don't.
Yeah. How do we record this?
Digital is rough in hyperspace
We will
universe
take
where
notes.
everything
It says
is
here that I have a photographic memory.
You may have photographic memory.
I'm just joking. It doesn't say that.
Yeah, and by BSing me with that, I'm going to gift you it, so you can memorize that and that alone, and you will see that every time you
There's so many things I don't want to keep seeing.
So yeah, you will see, you have photographic memory for this mural. These stars haunt you in your dreams.
I was about to say, you should try and put it in a
And you
jar.
see them align with the current universe where 3 stars are out of line.
You know that I'm going to be dreaming about putting the stars in jars, and then I'm not going to have enough jars to put the stars in. It's going to be a nightmare.
Yep. Well, there you go.
I love
Now,
it.
this next room that you come upon, if you assumedly ever leave this room, which why would you want to? These lizard folk are very confused as why you're so busy. But they're okay with it. They're like, yeah, just be careful.
Maybe air restrictions.
They lead you to this next room as well. This one is also underwater. Still completely underwater. But these masks, hideous, warped masks on the eastern wall, which is sort of kind of south of where you came in. And it has this weird muck, this reddish, weird, gross slime that someone has scrawled what might have once been common, although perhaps 1,000 years ago. And it seems to be like, run. And yeah, there's just these hideous demonic masks that you would know if you rolled religion. Anybody wants to know about them? Must roll.
Religion's not good, guys. I'm not rolling for religion.
One of us has to get it good, right?
I was only at 11 from
Can I substitute my religion with history?
Yes. You may.
Because that's a lot higher. Ooh. I gotta start rolling with my lucky dice more often. That's comedy and drama with a 15 plus 4 makes 19.
Yeah, you don't need to tell us your special die.
15.
So you got 15. You remember masks are essential to the pomp and circumstance and have been since the old empire itself fell, which is what these buildings used to be from. These are ancient war masks designed to cause fear and terror and worn by people who were about to go into wars where they would probably die or do a lot of killing. These masks are very dark and have probably existed for a long time. And they've seen more than their fair share of death.
I'm going to take the scariest looking one.
So
Yeah, shall we collect them?
All right.
Before
There
she-
are 3 masks. One of them is kind of a large, almost gross set of teeth that are unnatural. The other ones, one of them has far too many sort of holes instead of eyes. And so it's just this patchwork of holes with a mouth that's normal. And then the other one's like the grinning skeleton mask that everybody has to have. And, but other than that, it's pretty normal.
I take off the disgusting teeth mask and put it straight on my face.
Yeah, okay. So you have one of those really crazy teeth masks.
Done.
Yeah, okay, you have a spooky mask.
It's mine now.
Booga booga booga!
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Let's collect the other 2 and get out of here.
So curious,
Very
the writing that was on the mask, is that like something that was created with the mask, or was that written afterward when it was hanging on the thing? In the
You can investigate. You have the power.
Power to read.
I have power.
yeah, that's a 20 not net, I believe. No, 19.
Okay. You were very much aware that this was written a while ago. Maybe not, you can't tell exactly when. You don't, in fact, have the tools for that. But you are very much aware that this is very, very old writing. It was perhaps blood at some point. But it seems like something has calcified and they've reacted with certain weird things, and now it's just more of a stained, almost paint that just doesn't dissolve anymore.
So trying to determine if this was written on the scary masks when they were going into battle to try and...
It wasn't on the masks, it's on the wall.
It was on the wall.
Oh, on the wall. I thought it was on the
But it was written maybe around that time. Maybe. It's old. Older than perhaps the flooding of the temple itself. Which it seems to be a temple based on religious significance so far. Whether that's true or not is unknown.
Right.
At least not to you guys. You don't know.
We should know better than you go in the water temples. They're always the most annoying.
I know,
I love
right?
water temples. It's great.
I shall take the 2 remaining masks and put them in my bag.
Cool.
Cool. You are the mask person. That's kind of your thing.
They're scary, therefore they are mine. I shall carry them.
Cool. So, as you guys do that, you guys keep going?
Sure.
You keep going into another underwater room where there's 2 kind of paths that sort of converge around this grand, may have been a big pillar at one point, but now it's just covered in little remnants of little corals and at some point little like barnacles and things like that. Though some are still around. One has got the little like long beak and it's just like
Okay.
But yeah, that's just large open kind of space in the water, still pretty dark. There's a big opening that keeps going west and one that keeps going south, which the south one's a bit tighter and goes into more things. And based on what perhaps you may have discussed with people, may not lead anywhere notable. It's more rooms, not necessarily any paths forward through this place. I'm going to assume you discussed with the lizard folk where might lead to the temple itself, because you kind of did. So it seems like west is more where you should go.
Okay, I'm game for that.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Alright. West seems like the right option. Just get into the temple. The primary objective.
Cool. So in this western room, as you swim essentially down an elongated hallway, there is an unfortunate break. Above you see slight glimmers, and this room is in dim light now, so it's a little brighter.
Okay.
There seems to be air at the surface, an air pocket that you can use to gain more air.
Yes, let's do that.
And
Yay.
you guys all go up to breathe air. As you do, you are very much aware that this ceiling was once carved. This is got a whole bunch of murals as well. These of arcane patterns that just cover the entire ceiling all the way down to the end of this sort of room as it begins to be more overgrown and things pull it under again.
Do they have any specific meaning?
I was gonna
Not
say, are
really.
they
They have symbols and shapes. You can roll for it if you'd like. This would be probably Arcana check.
So that's a 25.
Not bad. Not bad. You know that this is a very complex description of certain rights and rules for certain times to teleport. This is a description of teleportation that used to be quite valuable and used to be sort of sort of a vague description of how the hyperspace gates and things were working back in the day.
Right.
Very useful and sort of an unfortunate thing lost in the decline. So these are very important relics. This will be useful knowledge if you can ever, get this knowledge back and translate it. But it makes a lot of sense. There's very specific branches and paths and this is where they were placed and where they went. And it was sort of this idea of how to build them was... It mentions it. It doesn't do it exactly, but it's the idea. It's close to saying something.
Can I record it down?
Yeah, we can take notes on it or try
You
to.
can try it. You can take notes using your brain and
You've
anything
got
waterproof you
Kobold's
have.
photographic memory.
No,
over
but
here.
only for the
I
previous.
only had it for that one random thing.
Look, he asked and I gave it.
I didn't want it.
Well, it's too bad you asked and you received. You should really think about what you ask for.
Already.
Along the south wall, too, you do see some draconic script.
That's cool.
It does read that the runes are explosive. It's a little hint that was carved into the wall, not like a very fancy carving. It seems to have been added later, and it might have been added by lizard folk who may be advising against rapidly hitting the murals and things like that, which one part does seem to have been blown up.
I'm gonna keep that little tidbit to myself.
Yep, that's fine.
No, I'm just kidding. I'll tell them. Don't hit the murals, they're gonna explode.
Okay.
Explode.
Artie,
Yes, space buddy.
I'm still not your space buddy, but you can use
Dang it.
that
Okay,
horrible stylus of yours to write on the inside of my armor, the new one that I have bought, and record these. Whoever wants to try their hand at recording these important glyphs above us.
I did get a 25 at observing it, so perhaps.
Perhaps you could
I
pass
could record down
the stylus to him, and I will give him
all
my
the
new
notes
armor.
on the armor.
Maybe. Alright, yeah, that's important information.
Yeah,
Make sure I
teamwork.
get the stylus back.
Alright.
Okay.
I've got senior or what is it? Half elf word on that. The half elf word of a portal man. All right, I'll give you the stylus.
Alright.
You always can trust those portal men.
Alright, I record down all of the information on the insides of the armor. Just,
I assume this takes a while.
yeah.
So it's probably a
It's
lot
a
of
bit.
it. Okay. We take the best notes that we can and wrap it up and put it back in my bag.
Cool, so you've
Hopefully.
taken notes.
The
And
armor is
you
now
get
just
the
covered in
stylus
arcane
back.
symbols of
Yeah,
teleportation, which
the
is great.
stylus.
You are aware of vague splishy splashy that isn't the normal water
Oh.
in the room.
Yay.
Investigation. Investigation.
I'm finding a place to hide.
Perception. That's perception, not investigation. Yeah.
Okay. It seems to have come from further where you were heading. So maybe back in.
I'll stick back in the corner.
Cool. Alright.
That's a 15
I'm gonna
perception.
scurry.
Yeah, so you're aware that there are two marrow, large, you could consider them vaguely mermaids if you considered them to not be monsters. They have kind of bristlier fins that branch from their bodies, and they have much more jagged and gross teeth with little like tendrils that hang down. And they are very concerned, and they have, they carry a sort of harpoon gun on their bodies.
Using chameleon.
They're equipped, and both of them are gesturing and making like plans. They're just not sure what you're doing here.
Nomadic
Can I-
chameleon.
You said there was a section in the mural that was blown out, right?
Yeah.
Can I pull myself up into that?
You can try roll acrobatics.
Nice.
Well, they only seem
6.
concerned.
Cool, you don't. It's wet, and you slip back into the water.
Well, they're only concerned at the moment, so.
Yep. You hear vague bubbles and weird noises coming from them.
I am a flying nomadic chameleon.
What languages do you guys even know anyway?
Pretty
Common,
sure it's just like Dwarvish, Elvish, and
Vedalkin, and Modron.
Common, basically.
Yeah, okay. So, nobody knows Abyssal? Nobody knows Aquan? How dare you? Anyway, so yeah. I love languages. They're so much fun. Just to see who you can even talk to.
I can talk to robots. I have
well, you can use
Modron.
Mimetic Chameleon. What are you going to do with it? You hide?
Yep,
Okay, the
I'm
cat
going
is
invisible.
Trying to be invisible. Do they have to roll?
I'm trying to look it up here.
Well, they rolled really well, so if they do have to roll, it's only going to work on one of them.
It has something to do with allowing me to hide in circumstances that are not.
It's that.
favorable
So
to hiding.
it would what it would let you do is if they had seen you, it could still let you stealth.
You can roll the stealth.
Or you could still stealth even if they already knew you were there.
Yeah, okay, so you can roll for stealth.
That's what I would. Yeah, that's what it would do. I believe it actually automatically stealths you.
I'm not
No,
sure.
no, because then you wouldn't automatically.
They have dark vision and they're looking at you. Where'd you go?
That's only a 6.
Yeah, so you are not hidden very well. You're splashing and you're like a...
Well, you're probably more hidden than the random person, but
Yeah.
okay.
There are other people, like, it's, whatever. But, yeah, so they are concerned, and, they make more of an ultimatum-y noise.
A noise that sounds like an ultimatum.
It's very harsh and it's very distinct. Two very strong syllables that you don't really know what they mean, but you get the purpose. It's like, explain yourself kind of thing.
Oh. Can't we just peaceably leave the room?
Wait. Can we show
This
them
is the way that you would like to go.
We could show them the notes and show them that we were just here to write down notes.
I like that plan. I
Okay.
remove the armor and give it to them so that they can
We
look
show
at
them
it.
the armor with all of our notes and point up at the ceiling where we copied it.
All right.
from.
Roll performance for trying to do this correctly without being weird and terrible at it.
Okay, that's a 20.
Cool.
Not bad.
Not bad. That's good enough. They seem to recognize what you're there for. However, they're very threatening still, and you are very much aware now that there's a third one as well that was lining up the shot
Oh,
on
jeez.
the closest person, which was the human. But they're not going to take it, and they're very unsure, but they're kind of just going to watch you. They do the eye motion too. They're watching you.
Okay.
They're making sure.
Alright.
Especially the cat that can't seem to be sneaky. They're very upset. They feel like you were insulting them. Until you mock their senses, you strange thing.
Well, I'm going to point towards the exit that we should be leaving out of. I think we're going to go that way.
Yes, you continue going west.
Alright, let's head off west. We've got
So wait,
some,
we're going back the way we came in, or we're going deeper?
No,
in?
you're
No,
going
we're
we're going toward the
deeper.
temple. But
Where were they? I thought they were blocking our way from going deeper.
Yes, they were to the west.
So they're
Yeah.
preventing us from going deeper.
they're letting us go through, but they're
They're
going
gonna
to
let
keep
you
their eyes
through.
on
They're
us.
gonna watch you.
Gotcha.
They're making sure you do nothing weird.
No funny business while we're in their temple, I guess.
Yeah, spooky music.
Okay.
Cool.
They weren't at all fazed by my scary mask.
You know, to be honest, they look a lot like your scary mask. So yeah, you keep going down this kind of wibbly wobbly weird path. It doesn't take you too long to get anywhere. There's really not anything in the way. You just keep swimming until you reach another room after there's a curve and a weird sort of entry. As you know, it looks like both the trees and the water have flooded this place. You enter a room with a name and things in it that I have to go find again. This one is also underwater fully because water is wet. And there are things on the floor that sway in the water and bubbles, as well as soft murmurs that rise to the surface. What do you guys want to do? There are exits that lead to the west and the south, and it feels from water currents that south might be the way you want to go, just based on the way water moves. It doesn't seem to be moving in the west, and it does seem to be moving in the south. And it seems a little more stale. It seems like your best odds are south. That is more close to the things that sway and bubble and mutter.
And then it's probably the things we want.
Or there could be special relics hiding in the other room. where
Yeah,
it's
but
safe.
remember the fishmen are watching us.
Yeah, as long as you don't pull anything crazy. We can go in and look at the west room.
So, are the fishermen still kind of nearby?
Yeah. They're still in the room. One of them's watching you while the other two keep
Can I
doing
ask-
their thing.
can
They're
I-
doing.
Can I kind of gesture to them and ask which direction we should go?
No, they'll point you. They're like what? They're like,
What do you want?
I think I'm just going to get increasingly more agitated as they don't understand.
and they
what I'm
just get
saying.
increasingly more like.
I'm going to speak to them in a loud voice, very slowly,
Okay.
in common, which we know they don't understand. But
Nope.
okay.
I guess I could roll to see if they understand any comment at all, which would be fun. It's always fun to roll
One of them
another die.
understands 1/5.
Let's see if any nat 20s exist. They don't. One of them knows the words no.
They just started yelling no.
No.
They're just pointing at things. They're like, west is no, down is no, up is no, I'm no, you're no, everything's no. All you know is the word no and directions.
Alright, I tried an investigation check for the moving grasses and the strange bubbles. Is there anything weird going on?
Sorry, what kind of check?
Investigation.
Cool. Well, you're aware that on the eastern wall of this south branching path, there are the words ran out of swords.
That's odd.
And the water tastes gross and moldy in here if you taste anything at all, and it feels gross even to your flesh.
Ran out of swords.
Metal. Yeah.
That sounds pleasant.
Yeah.
So it seems like somebody that's
The grasses are, well, they're not grass. They're sort of gross and oily.
Yeah, there's something bad about the vegetation and situation in this room.
Yeah.
I don't...
And it does
Try
seem
not to
like
touch them.
the kind of voices are coming from their direction. It's gross echoes, and just everything around that area is just sort of this gross, dark, almost gelatin-covered, nasty, as if they've spread all over it, and it's
and that's the west room or the bubble room.
sort of the bubbly direction where the weird mutters come from, but it seems to go south and where the water flow is strongest.
So we should avoid that spot.
And
to the
wasn't
other
the
exit.
location the Marrow said no to, for whatever value that might have.
Alright, then let's go to the other entrance then.
Yeah, let's go to the stale side.
You go to the stale side, it's very stale there, and there's thick, kind of brackish algae on the surface. Let me check which room you guys are looking into. Okay. Alright. This one has 3 feet of air, though, at the ceiling.
Nice.
There's a narrow pit, sort of at the base in the north side of this room, that was once covered by iron bars that have since rotten through and been rusted away by the water, as well as a rusted remnant of what might have been an axe. And there are these 3 swimming dark shapes. They give little screams and little squeals and little noises off.
Those are the shrieking eels.
It might as well be.
The shrieking eels.
Yes, they are dark and spooky, and they seem to be slightly reflective of light.
Reflective of light?
Reflective. They are very dark and have blackish coloration, but they do reflect a light sheen.
I'm going to try to perception on those. Anybody want to try perception?
You would probably do better rolling survival or investigation, because those are more close to identifying what kind of creatures they might
My
be.
investigation is currently a 4.
Perception is just to see what's there, and you see them. They are playing
Fair.
and nipping at each other.
Okay.
With those creepy mouths.
Real investigation then. Sweet, that's a 21.
Cool. These are a hideous form of dragon. Small little wormlings playing in the muck and the briar, away from any other larger and more intimidating drake.
Like kobolds?
Yeah.
So they're kindred spirits here.
They do speak on occasion small, broken, sometimes a bit cruel words in Draconic.
They're speaking ill and draconic.
They speak in ill and Draconic.
I'm gonna go and chill with my
Your
my peeps.
homeboys.
I'm gonna speak ill to my draconic buddies.
What are you going to say as you enter the room and they realize that there is somebody who's may not be ill?
I'm gonna say something like farts, because they're like kids, so you're gonna like get a laugh
Give
out of
me
it.
a performance check because it's a joke or something.
That's a nat one.
They don't even know the word, and they just think you're weird. They also think like, I don't know, maybe they're not very impressed.
That makes sense. I'm not very impressed with myself. I probably feel immediate shame after saying something like that.
Yeah, one of them spits acid at you guys.
Oh man.
You guys have to make a DC 11 Dex saving throw.
I get a 26.
Nice, you're fine.
Oh yeah, 13 base.
Okay, so you do
5.
18.
So the dwarf.
so just the dwarf.
Oh, the
Just the
dwarf.
dwarf.
But at least the dwarf is present now.
Yeah.
Let me just
The
roll
dwarf gets
for
woken
damage.
up by just ash.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, so
Wait,
you
what?
take 20 acid damage. Do you resist that in any way?
oh.
Dwarves do sometimes resist things.
I save against poison damage, yeah.
Darn it, it's acid. This biting, nasty stuff is more of a gross, kind of almost weird bio-torpedo almost of just this cloud of gross that doesn't really mesh with the water and eventually rises to the surface after it passes you guys. And that just burns and scalds and eats at your armor and your flesh, and you just are not happy.
Youch.
Yeah, so they burned you, and they sort of cackly giggle at that, as all dragons can. And they think that's hilarious. You know, the one who did it's acting like he's tough, and he's like preening, and he's like, yeah. And the others, one of them's just like, no, you ain't, and the other's like, yes, you are. They're just being weird dragonlings, speaking weird draconic. They're not impressed by this fake dragon.
Oh, haven't we all spit acid at somebody from time to
You should
time?
probably try to show a sense of dominance and intimidation to see if you can't.
I'm not going to try and intimidate these things.
But
I'm
they're-
only 2'11". There's not a lot of intimidation to go around.
But you have
Big
wings. Like flare out I'm sure you're already
A
bigger than
wormling?
them, and
Let
if you
me
flare out
read
your
the
wings, you can
exact
look
size.
even
Because I know
bigger.
they're a lot smaller
They
than
are
dragons.
medium size.
Okay.
They are as large as your dwarf. They're on the smaller end of medium size, but they are still medium. They are larger than he is.
Much larger.
Yes.
I'm 2'11".
You can still flare out the wings.
No,
they,
no.
they respect
They're like 4
intimidation.
feet
No, I'm going to go skulk.
long.
Go skulk.
I'm going to go skulk because now
4
I'm
and 5 feet.
shamed.
Oh,
They're pretty
goodness.
long.
Right.
Let the record show that I'm skulking now because I feel ashamed.
You have been dragon embarrassed.
Thoroughly shamed.
Your dragon honor is...
This dragon on it.
Yeah. So yeah, the one that did breathe acid seems like he's out of acid. The other two are just sort of like, yeah, we don't even need to handle these boys. They don't know what... They got wrecked. They're impressed at themselves.
I use Unsettling Aura.
Whoa.
It is a bonus action. Anything that's I can see within 60 feet of me.
That's where they are.
It can only move. I'm unsettling, and they can only move like half at their usual distance towards me, unless they are immune to fright.
Are they? No. Alright. Do they have to make a save?
There's no save mentioned.
Cool. So they're just like, oh, that's creepy. They're like, alright, see that fake dragon, he's not. This thing is like,
I do have the
They're
mask,
acting
so
like they're
hopefully
tough,
that
but they're
helps.
like, they're not swimming in that direction when they play anymore.
Yeah.
They ain't about that.
Alright. We should be chill.
Yep.
I hope we can pass through without them trying to attack again.
Yeah.
Now, what entrances are in this room?
This room has 3 different ones that all lead to even more stagnant rooms that seem even... Well, let me just make sure I have the exact numbers of which rooms they are. Yeah, there's 3 rooms, and... 94, 25, 27, okay. One is completely underwater, and there are other things swimming in it that you can see from here. One of them has a little bit of air, maybe. There's a little reflection coming from it, and there's this weird, almost croaking, creaky noise in it. And it doesn't seem like there's much else in there. It's just sort of small and barren. The other room, the farthest south one, because these are all sort of like that, this one is fully underwater, and there are more of those weird movie things and bubbles and muttering sounds that are so quiet. You can barely hear them.
None of these rooms seem appetizing. Do we want to go back a room and select a different direction?
No, I don't think we do.
There doesn't seem to be any other paths through these rooms. Seems like
Well,
this might
so
be
far
dead
nothing's
end.
really hurt us except for the, when I was stupid and
Nothing's hurt anything but our feelings.
yeah, it's been all emotional damage so far. I feel like I've got enough ego. I can keep going for a little bit longer.
But are there any other options the draconic room, or are we going to be stuck going where that oily black?
I would definitely say you're stuck. At least based on your knowledge. You don't know any other ways. I'm not sure I know any other ways, so I mean, you do what you want to do.
has the map.
Can I look around at these things in the vents?
I can't tell you all I know either, but
Can I do an investigation check for vents?
you can check for vents. Roll for vent knowledge.
That's not good.
Please do survival or investigation.
Oh, well, survival would be better.
Okay, let's survive.
So that would be an 8.
There are no visible vents in the really gross murky
Crap.
rooms that are super dark and don't seem to lead anywhere. It's like
I
they're
kinda just
extra
wanna, like,
little
crawl in the
pockets that are
vent
gross.
And die because I'm so embarrassed.
Understandable.
I'm still punishing myself for that nat one.
There's incredibly creepy muttering noises. You could always go to the room with those. I'm sure that would be a fair way to die.
Yeah. Just so you know, I'm casting Cure Wounds on myself.
Cool.
Did you need healing?
Yes, he
Yeah,
took 20 damage.
damage.
Right, duh. Sorry.
He took a cloud of acid
He did.
into the face.
Sorry, I was just thinking how to reason. Like, I think we should go into the room with the swimming things, because other creatures in this dark place haven't really done us any harm yet.
Yet. Let's see.
Yeah, they seem pretty reasonable so far.
What would be the skill that I would apply?
How about investigation or survival?
Yeah.
You're not gonna use religion.
16.
Okay, 16. There are no paths out of these other alcoves. They are, by nature, they seem to be little pockets and gross, and if there were, it may be impossible to do without trying to cut through tons of tree and muck and slime. And are you really sure you want to spend your time doing that?
Right, yeah, we'll back out then and probably investigate the other room that had
The bubbles and
the bubbles.
Yeah, because the way south.
There was
before
quite a lot of
was-
room there. It's not too bad.
That's true. Yeah, let's all go back that way and everybody do an investigation to see what other paths might be in there.
Because south is the way that was supposed to lead to the temple before.
South does feel like the direction you should take, at least based on what you've been shown and
South
all
it
the
is.
stuff you've seen.
Yes, but you were hinting rather subtly that we don't want to go that direction.
No, he's just saying that it was ominous, that like there might be some kind of a fight.
You know, normally when there's something ominous, that's the right way to go.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm just saying.
If you guys are all game for it, then Artie's not going in first this
As
time.
long as there's enough air to cast spells, I'm
Well, you
good.
could play with the bubbles and muttering in the other room too. I mean, they two different directions. Choose your direction and which bubbles you'd like.
Alright, the one with the objective. South.
So you guys are going there. What are you gonna do in that room? Just swim over?
Yeah,
Yeah.
try to get to the temple
I'll lead the way.
in a timely fashion.
With
All
your
right.
spooky mask.
Just swimming.
I'm going to attempt to stealthily swim. Can I
Okay.
roll for stealth?
Yes, you may roll for stealth.
I'm assuming that I'm heavier, so
That
I'm
is a
like
25.
jump walking.
So I have
Okay.
a 25 on stealth.
Yes, you are very stealthy. Now, anybody else? Or are you just guys gonna swim?
I'm just going.
Are you gonna try to sprint for it? Because your sprint is gonna be real slow. This is water, so it's like half. but you could.
I don't think my stealth is going to be doing much. Oh, it's 6. Happy Sunflower does not appreciate stealth rolls.
Okay. Especially for Worf. Worf, you are very much aware that at the bottom, these aren't plants. These have gross, hideous mouths and vague eyes, resembling all sorts of strange creatures. And it's this blubbery mass that just mutters strange tongues and words. At one point, you do hear all sorts of nonsense. It's hard to imagine what. There are 3 of them, just slithering around and occasionally eyeing each other up at the bottom of this room. And as they see you, they seem to move towards you. They can move about 10 feet in 6 seconds, quite quickly. And they sort of swim their way just closer to you near the bottom. So you could try to like jump over them or what?
So these are like things that we thought were grasses but are actually creatures with mouths?
They are. They have long, tendrily things, and a lot of their frond-like limbs are actually stalks with eyes, blinking and searching ever more in other directions.
How did we ever mistake that for grass?
In the dark? When you're colorblind with dark vision?
All right.
And it's moving from the other side of a hill, and all you see are the stalks. It looks a lot like grass in the dark. Have you ever seen a lake?
Okay, that's not grass.
All right, I'm going to
Very
use...
much
That
not.
is not grass.
That's what
I'm
I'm
glad
here
you guys have learned of just what on earth I managed to create in this dungeon.
All right, I'm definitely casting Unsettling Aura again as I swim up and way up,
Yeah,
up as high as I can go.
Artie's not hanging down
Cool,
at the
cool.
Are
bottom.
there any air pockets in this one, or is it just straight?
There is an air
water?
pocket. There's about a foot up top.
Alright, I'll go there so I can actually
This does
cast
seem to be
spells on
about
this
30
side.
feet deep, and it seems like one of them tried to go up as well, but it's not as good going up as it is down.
Alright.
Go figure. However,
Their speed.
everybody will need to make a save. Because these things are hideous and gross. And you will need to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, beautiful.
As this hideous muttering just starts to fill your brain, and you begin to hear weird people that you haven't heard talk in this way ever start saying things. You start to remember Tiggity saying things she never said to you. Just weird things by different people. Some people you swear, like their voices you've never heard, but you would swear you met them.
Okay, well, I rolled a 22.
Cool.
17.
All my staring into space is
10.
Cool.
What wisdom? What was it? Wisdom?
Wisdom save.
save.
21.
21, good. What do you do, Artie?
I'm double checking because there was something I had that had to do with saving throws. I'm trying to find where that's at.
Look, just tell me what you already rolled.
I haven't rolled it yet.
Oh.
I'm trying to figure.
Well, when it comes to Nightmare Sphere, if you can't find it, it
It's
probably
a
won't
12
work.
base. If we're going by wisdom,
you're fine.
it makes it a 15.
Gosh, it's only DC 10.
I'm sorry.
But yes, you managed to avoid the paralyzing terror that these things seem to try to consume your mind with. And you managed to avoid them because they're actually quite slow. And yeah, one of them spits grossly. Who's the slowest swimmer?
Might
I'm
be
not
me.
stealth like you because you're stealthy.
Might be me. My normal speed is 25.
But, well, I think all of us, except for Signorin,
In
are
the water, your speed is
25
halved.
speed.
I'm gonna say that it's gonna spit at Worf because Worf is closest. I'm just gonna say that because Worf sort of sinks a lot.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Worf, you're gonna have to make a dex saving throw.
Oh, dodging in the water. Okay, so 16 as an attempt to.
You're fine.
Flail
You
away.
dodge the fact that this spit actually crackles and sparks brightly as it kind of gets close to you and pops in this bright flash of light that you manage not to get hit by. And it happens behind you, and you're just like, nope. And you guys get out of that room, and these things And eventually, as you get further and further, they seem to not follow too far. They seem to just be like, all right, now where are they? And they seem to look again and sway in the water. And that's sort of that room. Now you guys are in a different room. Guess which room? It's room number 8.
Oh, number 8.
Keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Ugh, so many rooms. This one is empty. Grossly empty after all that. It's just this big old, messy, deep swamp room that's just fully underwater. But there's a way further south in it.
Alright, I guess
Are there any writings on the walls of this room?
Do you want to roll perception?
Sometimes you'll just give it to me, so I thought I'd try.
Well, sometimes I don't give it to you, so take that.
Yeah, that didn't do any good. Anybody else want to try and perception that? I've only got a 6.
Perception what?
No, wait, that's
The room?
not 6. That's a.
Yeah, she's
8.
looking for stuff.
See if there's writing on the walls. Because, we had run, and then we had ran out of swords.
I got 16. Do I see anything with my flashlight?
You do. Using your flashlight
What's all this then?
to go down and look at the base, there is a weird thing in one of the corners where the fires of these tiny candle-like things are still lit, even underwater. And they have this bent dagger that sits between these candles, of which there are 8. And it's just this bent, rusty thing. But the candles seem like they've never changed.
That is weird. Who craves a dagger that might be evil?
I take daggers. I collect them.
You must bring an offering for the rats.
More daggers for the rat.
I'm certainly interested in the candles.
Yeah.
So which one of us is going to reach for it first?
I mean, you're right there. I don't know if you've told everybody yet.
No, wait, I'm telepathic.
I'm just gonna roll that happened, and then you realized you were talking
Oh
about
wait, I'm talking about
That's fair.
The
You guys see this over here?
the chairs.
What?
These candles burning underwater, and this dagger nestled amongst them.
I'm just suspicious.
He's just like, I can't put it in a jar. I don't care.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go.
Why would you care about not jar?
I'll swim over just to look while she grabs them.
All right, I'll grab a candle. What happens when I do this thing?
When you grab the candle, all the other candles go out,
Aww.
and the dagger just sort of twists again.
Can I take the dagger?
You may take the dagger. You have a strange, rusty, ancient dagger. Just add that to your item list.
I guess I'll keep the candle as something to study when it comes to
Yes,
Arcana.
that candle remains lit, but all others have gone out.
Oh, I guess I'll just carry it then.
The flame does feel cool to the touch, as if there is no heat or light produced by it.
Underwater cool.
You put like a little waterfall going over it, and it would look really cool.
Wood, really cool. I will decorate my evil tower under the ground.
Alright, I guess we can. Was that like some kind of religious like altar or something like that?
I will
Maybe
do a
cult-like?
religion check. Okay, I got 11 for religion.
Cool.
Is it religious?
It's a strange dagger at the bottom of a strange room with candles that burn in the water. It seems super religious. You just don't have any idea why.
I think it's religious.
Well, if it was some kind of altar, we just kind of desecrated it. That was great.
It does seem like a weird place for a formal ceremony.
Yeah.
Well,
Alright, I guess there's not much left for us here then.
I'm gonna carry on. Have my cool burning candle. Just out of curiosity, as we continue southward, will we eventually make our way out the south entrance?
We have to get past.
Yes.
We have to go through the temple to get, because we started on the north end.
Yes.
Theoretically,
You
we
might
should hit the
just-
temple before we go out the south end.
Now, okay, so
Interesting.
going this direction, there's a whole lot of alcoves that don't really go very far, so not a lot of branches that really matter. However, eventually you get through this room into the next, and looking into this room, there's a lot more air. This room is much taller and has about quite a lot of feet of air, probably enough to stand up in if you could stand on one.
Playing good.
And in this room, there are strange figures performing perhaps something strange at the bottom of the inn. These things are not necessarily as lizard-like as before, and in fact more resemble fish.
10 coins. As a bet that they are worshipping Dagon down there. Who wants to go deal with these ones?
Are the merfolk people still following us?
No, they did not like going through the bubble room.
Probably the gibbering mother scared them off.
Probably. They're similar CR, but you know, that's not a fight they really feel like taking. Plus, they can just swim over, but they're just like, they'll be fine.
Right.
Plus, you never did figure out what they were doing in that room, and they didn't tell you, so.
Yeah.
With some sort of shenanigans, I think it's safe to say.
Mm-hmm.
Shenanigans and ne'er-do-wells.
They speak. You hear soft muttering, as much as one can hear muttering underwater, though it's strange. Does anyone know Undercommon?
Nope.
Okay. Cool. They mutter and they raise strange staffs in the darkness. And yeah.
Can I inspect these strange staffs? Look a little more closely.
You can investigate, yeah.
What is my investigation? That's an 18.
Cool. These are almost pincered staffs made from the claws of great things that you have not yet seen, but they seem to be like a giant crustacean-like thing that has been ripped off and then used with a stick to create this weird staff, and all these adornments are put onto it. And these seem to kind of boil in the water. This got this distortion near the staffs, and this distortion is also kind of met near the middle of them, where a strange distortion is taking place in the dark.
Does the goblin with us know Undercommon?
The hobgoblin? He, let me actually check. What does a hobgoblin know? I haven't had to check yet because he doesn't clearly speak any of that nonsense. But, alright, Volo, what does the hobgoblin know for language? No, he does not. He knows common and goblin.
Does he understand any of what might be going on down there?
That's weird.
That sounds about right.
At least we all agree.
Is there enough room in this one for us to just, sneak on by?
Well, before
Maybe,
we do
yeah.
that,
It's a big room. Would you like to get air from the surface too?
Absolutely.
I've got a 17 on perception.
Cool, yeah. You have dark vision, right? Mm-hmm. There's something flickering down there. It may be similar to the flames seen before, but you can't tell from here because they don't produce any light, and any light you do produce isn't good enough to reach all the way to the middle.
I try and nomadic chameleon as stealth again to get closer. Let's see. That's a 15.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll get closer.
You've used your power. I don't actually know if that will matter or not. Let me check my datas. Okay, interesting. They are absolutely aware the moment you get close,
Oh boy.
and they all turn and begin to mutter, and it's bubbly too, so even if you could understand, it's also bubbly and gross, and their fishy mouths move in weird fishy ways.
How many of them are there?
There are 4.
There are 4 of them.
And each has a staff. And each is like doing their ritual.
Get out of there.
Alright,
We'll swim back up.
Okay, you swim back up.
I'm at the surface, right?
I don't like that.
But when you were there, you were able to get a better look. They have a great blue flame-ish looking thing that looks like water, but acts like flame beneath the water. It seems like those candles. And they've got this weird fire going.
Space buddy.
I hide the candle that I took behind my back.
Maybe you can go make friends with them. Show them your light.
I will do a religion check of 16 to see if
That makes no sense.
anything yeah, it's weird. No, I'm not going
This
to.
is not a recorded phenomenon.
They're chasing her there, right?
No.
No, like they turned to face the person and then they just went back to the ritual and she left?
Oh, they're still chanting. They're just facing you guys.
Oh, they're just facing them and chanting, okay.
They're facing, one of them's doing a weird jig. It's pretty fancy.
Okay, well, for the heck of it, Artie's gonna start imitating what they're doing.
Yeah, okay, they're cool with it.
He's gonna swim back down and he's going to join them.
Oh dear. Well, nice knowing you.
How are you gonna join them? You want to perform? Roll performance check.
Yeah, whoop.
Or are you trying to deceive?
No, I think it'll be more of a performance.
Alright.
She believes.
We're gonna see where this goes. Ooh. That makes a 16.
Well, they respect that.
We're just
With their
jamming
bubbly
together.
chants and their strange tongues.
Just totally jamming together.
I think we should probably acquire one of the stabs there.
Yes, I need a staff to dance with you guys properly. Do you have a spare?
They have no idea what you're saying, but they're chill with it.
But telepathy, does that... Can that technically...
What does telepathy allow? Does that allow you to
have
say
that
to them,
written
or
down.
does it allow them to say to you?
I can say to them, and I think it surpasses languages.
Cool.
You don't need to share a language with the creature for it to understand your telepathic messages, yes.
Yeah, so they can understand your message, but they can't send it back.
Nope.
They may not have any way to know that they can't speak back either, so they might be trying to talk to you and you're rudely not responding.
Yes, they do try to speak back louder this time, as if you were deaf. It still bubbles and they feel. Yes, they give you a staff.
Oh, okay.
It's a gross, nasty stick that's just a stick that has impaled a crab-like pincer the size of your head, and it's just covered in weeds and grossness, and they just are chanting with it.
All right.
And they don't seem to know what they're doing. The more you watch, the more they're just like doing whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
All right,
But it
guys.
seems to be working.
It's working.
And it seems to like stoke and breathe life into this strange fire,
Okay.
Oh, the
which seems to
ritual
be
as
very, very much water. It just behaves like fire.
well.
They seem to be. We seem to basically be like meeting worshippers of Dagon, albeit they're worshipping the memory of these ancients, but they don't really have any real knowledge about them or how to continue worshipping them anymore.
So,
But they seem to be alright.
We're like, hey, Space Baby, hold out your flame. I'm gonna try something. Bada.
Wait, do the thing.
I allow her to do this because part of me thinks they might attack her. So I let her take the flame.
Okay,
Him.
so
Yes,
You
I pass
use
him
the
my
light.
candle.
Oh, you use the candle. They're impressed. They think you're cool. They're just like, yeah,
It's had the opposite effect.
very, very powerful.
Give me that back.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, yes. And they think that that's pretty chill. They start doing the candle instead. The flare on the floor had no point. There's nothing on the floor. They just were doing it there. They do it on the candle now because the candle was clearly superior. And so the candle lights up in greater fire, which is still water. And they're having a lot of fun with this candle.
Okay.
But are you
Right.
touching the candle now that it's burgeoning, fiery water?
Sure.
Okay, roll a wisdom saving throw.
It's gonna be an 11.
Okay. You, for a moment, are convinced that you have been burned. You feel as if you have been burned. But when you look, nothing has burned you, and it's not even hot. The fire is still water. It's just water that acts like fire. As long as they seem to be doing their thing, it seems to be this grand fake water fire.
What does this mean?
I have no
However,
idea.
they're like, what does it mean?
I don't know, but it's
Because
pretty
they saw
cool.
you burn it, they're like, one of them seems to lose its mind and throws its staff, over its head and just like clutches its head and like collapses to the floor in this like wide open eyes, and it seems to have lost its mind. And you begin to see this strange distortion in reality begin to take place in the room.
This is how you do a cult properly.
And this hideous forms begin to
They're
worm through the
obviously
water.
very cool.
And things are getting very powerful. You begin to feel a very strange and terrible presence in the room.
Maybe we should not have helped
Terrible
them.
presence.
It makes your skin crawl.
Very, very bad. Okay,
Way to go.
Can we?
Way to go.
I'm going to teleport the dropped staff over to me.
Okay.
Bad things do not happen.
So you teleport a staff. You now have 2 staffs. You guys are going to try to leave the room?
probably.
All right, well, as you guys are leaving the room, you begin to see this more and more coalesce as this strange fishman gazes into eternity and begins to assemble this thing before him, a figure, a strange being of darkness
We're just gonna leave.
and burnt flesh begins to form into the water as a real physical manifestation in this kind of almost terrifying way.
They
Yeah.
are absolutely worshiping the Cthulhu, the horrors that are in hyperspace. They're absolutely accessing those beings.
Anyway, this hideous burnt flesh forms into this form of someone that is absolutely in agony. And you guys keep going and leave.
This poor guy. I didn't
They make this strange screaming, upset noise. And yet, they don't seem to actually be in any pain. They don't shiver. There's none of that. They just seem to be the essence of burning and incarnate as some form of strange and terrible god.
Let me be clear, I would be probably gone by the
They are
room by
all
now.
very much into this and also terrified.
I would definitely be gone by the room by now.
Yeah, I think we're gonna leave now.
Okay.
They're not part of the
Thanks for
order
the
of the
staff.
right?
Take 800 XP for creating a god.
Oh boy.
On accident, the Kuatoa do this all the time. And
Said
that's-
800?
It's 800 XP for surviving 4 Kuatoa whips.
Oh, goodness.
And yes, they have just created a god of sorts. Because Kuatoa are like orcs in Warhammer. And what they believe to be real and powerful is real and powerful. And they have just been given the inspiration that flesh can burn.
The god of
God
burning
of burning
flesh.
flesh,
So
yeah.
you basically, they molded a god after you. Yeah.
Yeah, your burnt skin in particular.
I have been immortalized.
The god of burning flesh.
Thanks for the spear, guys. Good luck with your burning flesh, gods.
Yeah, but on this next room, let's see. There's not many rooms left. There's only 2. You can see sort of a darkness as well, but also the glimmer of light as if it goes up and ends in sort of an upper dark room. But you can see through these 2 rooms, and the nearest one is fairly small, but there are a whole bunch of little dark shadows swimming around. It seems to be quite full, in fact, of these small swimming fishy shapes.
Alright, you guys, I took the last one. Somebody else's turn.
What is the last room, anyway?
Just a bunch of fish.
Just a bunch of fish. They're not too big. They're hand-sized for an adult human.
They're probably fries.
What makes you say that?
Well, you're made of metal. They won't eat you. You can get them closer to them if they are.
That's what you would have thought about rats.
And I mean, generally speaking, piranhas don't attack you unless you move a lot.
Well, that depends. Piranhas are weird. You can not move a lot. A thing of chicken in a piranha pool and they'll feeding frenzy, and you can not move a lot and put your feet in that same pool and they won't touch you. Exactly what causes the feeding frenzy is unknown.
It could be blood and, the smell of decay.
Yeah.
The smell of decay.
He is a very attractive monkey.
Smelly ape.
Donkey.
Don't disrespect the monk. The Kong. Expand Kong.
Well, he gets a bad rap for his smell, yeah.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Interesting. And, further on you do see larger dark shapes swimming through the water in the next room as well. So it seems like there's a bunch of swimming things between you and what might be an exit. But they are not necessarily very thick.
And we were warned that of the 3 sisters, the deeper in they went, the more dangerous it became, and there were 3, and there's now 2. So I don't think these things are quite as innocent as they appear.
Well, what do you guys want to do?
I think nobody just wants to be the first one to go in the room.
Yeah.
Are we still all the way underwater?
All the way underwater. It looks like it's just pure water until what might be a large air pocket, which ends the entire thing.
Is there an air pocket anywhere close to us?
No, not really. You just came from one.
Okay.
There was 7 feet of air above the Kuatoa room.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's say that we refilled ourselves.
You did.
Okay.
I asked very precisely, and at the very least, the human is fine, but everyone else still has a good 30 minutes, so...
Yeah, no, I would have refilled myself. Any chance I get. Artie does not want to drown. He's having a hard enough time being underwater as it is.
I think these things are obviously probably dangerous as well, but let me try being super stealthy again. And
Okay.
get stealthy through the room.
Look at my chameleon things here.
Alright. What you got?
Do I have to roll again?
Yeah?
Okay. That's just a 14.
Okay. You managed to swim through this room pretty unaware.
Okay.
These large schools of fish, you are much more aware of what they look like. They have these pretty large eyes that are pretty, regular fishy.
Sure.
But they are pretty... They don't look like very friendly fish. They have very sharp teeth.
Okay.
Small but sharp.
Yeah, like piranhas.
Much similar.
I'm gonna turn around after I get to the other side and just thumbs up to everybody.
They're swimming around and, just actually having little schools and nibbling on things and kind of messing with other fish in that way that only fish can, where they slightly bump each other. And that's some sign of affection, perhaps, or maybe competition. It's hard to tell with them.
Probably both.
Cool.
But also, screw you. But also, literally. But also not. All right, yes, so the kobold, you can get into the next room if you'd like. Let me just see.
Well, I mean, if no one else is going to do anything, I will peek in the next room, but I don't want to, like, step on top of other people's stuff.
Alright.
I'm gonna apply 3
How big is the
points.
room across?
It's about 30 feet around, almost like a sphere.
Alright.
Yeah.
Sphere.
Interesting.
I'm going to apply 3 side points to Nomadic Chameleon for Step from Sight.
Okay.
It's a 1 minute concentration. As a bonus action, I can cloak myself from sight. And I can target 1 additional creature for every additional side point I want to spend on the ability. And turn them invisible too.
Okay.
So,
Space buddy!
Just this once.
See, that's pretty good.
I know I'm not as stealthy as Dave, so I'm probably just gonna try to teleport across, but I gotta do it underwater.
Yeah. Okay, well, you two go through just fine. They don't seem to know you're there.
What about our dwarven friend?
My dwarven friend. I'm just gonna try and stealth through.
We can help you.
If you want to help me, you should help me.
I'm gonna roll that performance to try to teleport across.
Yes.
Because, you know. Oh! That's a 6!
That's not very good. Do bad things happen?
No.
Good.
One off of bad things
Okay, so
happening.
you open a portal, and it draws the attention of the quippers in that area, who are very curious about this strange portal that
Just
opened
in
and
the
closed for a moment. Just that hole pulled some water through and then threw it towards you. So for a moment they looked at you and they're like, "Wah." And then they were gone, and this has mystified 3 fish very much. They're very curious. And now one of the swarms of little quippers, their school is just very much like, what happened? And they're far more aware. They're now actively looking for what on earth just happened. So they might be harder to sneak by for you two.
Alright. Well,
As what happens when the fish are very much confused.
I've confused the fish.
how far across are we from
guys are
these
through.
guys? Yeah, we're through.
You're
but
going to be
how-
effectively through by the time anything happens. It's not
across.
really.
30 feet across?
yeah.
'Cause I can target.
Can I
within
try
60
again?
feet.
Yeah,
So I can make these guys invisible if I want to spend a
if
couple
you want to.
Is this just for you and me, or just you?
Just me.
Just
I
you.
should probably calculate.
Doing you would cost a lot of points,
You
but I
should
mean, I
probably,
could still do
use
it.
your abilities for the good of the group and not just Space Buddy.
Well, we got one more. Yeah. We need to pull one more person across.
I have
We
a-
cannot-
I have a
Still not
stealth.
fast, but
I have a stealth of
Oh, I thought you
10.
could teleport
Nice.
yourself.
well,
I'm
it's
going
underwater.
across.
It's hard to speak.
All right,
All of my spells are verbal.
Right.
and you guys, you're doing your power.
Yeah, I'll add a couple more side points to make them invisible.
Okay.
Okay, if we're
So
invisible.
all 4 of us are.
So you guys are much stealthier than
Shuffling.
you would have normally been. What did you roll?
I haven't rolled a stealth.
Please roll.
Today is not my day.
What did you roll?
4.
That's not too good. You do have assistance. I'm gonna let you re-roll stuff. This you get advantage. That's the bonus. What'd you roll?
Gonna be okay?
So you got a 4. You draw the attention of some very, very curious fish. And only one. The others are doing their own fishy things. They don't care.
As an invisible man manages
But
to draw the
these
attention
are very
of
much
fish.
curious, and they begin to
Maybe it
roll
feels
performance. Let's see how well you can swim.
Please. Okay, 21.
So your swimming is natural and normal, and so while they're curious and they may like sort of nip around, they're like, is this food? Food?
Nah, bro.
You got like a fish that's like up in your gill, like, you food? You know, but you're not.
Fishy
food.
eyes.
You're not really easy, and they're not really sure. They don't encounter these things, so they're like, we'll just make sure it doesn't become edible. So they just sort of follow you, just in case, you know. It's nothing personal. It's just like, maybe.
Just in case something happens
You
to
know,
you.
like,
become
hey,
food real quick.
stranger things have happened, but they don't really like the other room. There's some larger moving things in that one, and You get to your friends, you two just fine. Now there's one room between you and what is much more clearly a sort of surface area and maybe a stairway that used to go down into here.
Hallelujah.
So you guys are entering a stairway that leads to an air pocket. If you can get through this other 30-foot room, which has two long, thin, and very dark-looking serpent-like things traveling through it. One is much sleepier than the other.
Sleepy.
I imagine her spell still holds.
It still holds.
Okay, it goes for a minute, so.
Would you like to try to stealth past these?
Yes.
They have a much different score and it's a different challenge.
No.
We'll try.
Let's try it again.
Okay? What did everybody roll?
16.
So, do I need to roll for being invisible?
9.
You need to roll to
It
stealth.
gives you the ability.
Because not everything is visibility based. It only helps a lot. A lot of these things are living in the darkness where sound or movement is just as important.
21.
Do I have to re-roll?
You'll have to
Or
re-roll.
do I stay with the same one?
I respect your authority, but you might want to re-roll for these because they're a new threat. Because you get
That's
experience
not-
for everyone you beat.
That's a nat one.
You may re-roll because of the stupid magic that your friend has.
She didn't do it on me.
Well, I can.
If she pays, you can re-roll. Which, by the way, is a great way to make your class more useful.
Help other people.
Yeah, I have no helpful abilities.
Yeah,
so.
You have got the telepathy stuff.
I'll give you a point. You can stop it.
To be honest though, if we're in a tight enough pinch and I can roll high enough, I do have enough points to teleport 2 people out. Just saying.
Okay, well, re-rolled and I got an 18 on something, so.
Cool. So, what'd you roll?
21.
Crystal? What'd you roll?
9.
What'd you roll?
14.
Cool. And what'd you roll?
16.
So the only person who draws attention is Signorin.
Again.
One of these larger, they very snake-like,
I'm a loud swimmer.
is getting very interested in Signorin. And gets very close. He gets within 5 feet. What are you gonna do?
Stevie.
This
Very
serpent-like thing
Very close.
is a huge beast.
I don't like serpents.
It is quite big. It is actually almost 12 feet long.
It was a giant snake.
Yep.
Well, seeing as how
Is it like the same kind of snake as what I have in my bottle?
Based on color, you don't know. But they don't share too much. They seem
Yeah,
related vaguely, but not too
I just wanted to make sure I didn't have like
you
its
gave
baby in my.
I thought you gave away the yellow one.
No, I didn't give it.
Oh, that's right. It was the fire spiders and.
He didn't give the spiders. He only gave the eyes and the dwarf.
No, you gave the
I
I
spiders.
gave the
Yeah.
spiders. I kept
Oh.
the eyes because I wanted them.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
So he gave away giblets, yeah.
That's right.
The giblets.
That's
The
right,
dwarf, space dwarf giblets.
Oh man, that's just such a weird hyperspace dwarf giblets. Yes. Oh,
What'd you do with my giblets?
these were from the people you murdered, so you're probably fine.
You're not a hyperspace dwarf. You're just a dwarf.
Common dwarf,
Alright.
not hyperspace. How lame.
Got one day like a bathtub of eyes and your giblets are gone.
I just imagine this kobold sitting in a bathtub of eyes that just stare at people who enter. It's like, and I'm just like,
No, I was like,
Whatever.
she's talking about like as in like I drugged him and like stole his like surgery.
oh gosh, no, that's horrible. What is this, China?
No.
Alright.
Anyway,
Okay.
I'm going to be ready to deploy the force field that I've recently acquired.
Okay.
And I'm also going to teleport the spear that I acquired to hit one of the rocks across the room.
okay.
Maybe distract them a little bit.
You can try. Give
Yeah,
it a roll.
please. That's a nat one.
So what happens
Bad
now?
things happen.
Bad things happen.
Yes, on something on the table of bad things that happen when I roll nat ones on a teleportation check.
This is the first time this has ever happened.
Yes, this is a good day.
It was only a matter of time.
I'm so happy.
It's only a matter of time. So that is a
Frick.
How exciting.
that is a 95. summon a copy of the party.
Of everyone in the party.
Yeah, just like a parallel universe type style copy of us.
Oh no, they're screwed.
Instead of actually teleporting.
Oh gosh. Well, there's not too much time left, so I don't want it to be too weird.
Kobold with a mustache.
So we summon.
They aren't stealthy. They're gonna get eaten if we don't do something.
Probably we're unsuspecting too. Just like
Well, I'm going to roll for them.
Distraction.
Yeah.
Alright, so 3 of them were unprepared. One of them looks like he's always been prepared.
Which one?
I'm gonna roll randomly and we'll see.
How does this happen? I rolled a 95. That's
Okay,
why it happened.
so the kobold is absolutely ready. This kobold is almost the same and has a bandana on
Yes.
and is just ready. But instead of having a gun, just has a really nice knife, which might be a sword, but it's a knife.
Knife.
And it's just ready. I was like, hoo-ha! And just like immediately stabs the nearest thing, which is the snake. It rolls for attack.
Oh, don't forget we have the goblin with us too. He has to have a copy.
No one else.
The goblin's copy is exactly the same. It's like nothing was different. Don't ask questions.
It's getting really philosophical there.
Yes, this kobold stabs the snake and deals using an ability that a fighter would normally have.
There's a
Because
fighter version of me. I love it.
Deals instead 12 damage of just raw stabbery. And that leaves this snake very much upset. I was like, what the heck? Because it did not expect parallel dimension Rambo kobold. One of the other characters showed up, was expecting it, and has instead decided that they are going to use their cleric powers because they were, because I've rolled for that and that's what they got. And that's their dwarf cleric.
Oh no.
That worships, who do they worship? Oh, okay, so they worship the god of trickery, and they decide to cast the spell of more illusions. So they make tons more illusions. So now there's about 15 of everybody. It seems like they are very much afraid of being teleported across universes and rather frazzled. So now this whole room is full of illusions of you all.
I'm guessing.
Some are real,
I'm
some
guessing
are
the
not.
parallel universe Senyarin is probably aware of the possibility of this and is pissed at me for doing it.
Well, let me see.
Mucked it up!
And you could try to not have them be upset. Do you want to? Or do you think you deserve
I
it?
think they would be upset, yeah.
They're very upset. There's a very grumpy Signorin that looks very similar, though they wear an ascot.
Oh, okay.
A what?
Ascot Senyarin.
It's like a scarf.
Yeah.
It's a men's
Oh,
scarf.
okay.
It seems like everyone in that group is
It's
wearing
not
some
nearly as
form
big.
of scarf. The same bandana color, in fact.
They're in a gang.
It is a very, very normal, absolutely not understandably weird, vibrant red bandana. Like glow-in-the-dark red. Absolutely normal. I rolled for that color. Anyway,
So unprepared.
so they're there, and they're not upset. They're not happy with being in the water. They're looking for land.
Right.
Yeah,
I
that's
suppose
all
The snake
we
is
all are
upset,
looking for that.
and the snake will attack the nearest thing, which is an illusion, and then will attack the next nearest thing because it's got stupid snake reflexes, and that's just gonna miss and like bite itself in this morass of limbs and people, and it's going to deal 1 piercing damage to itself, and then just realize this is a nonsense and leave. Yeah, and so all your clones are making for the stairs. What do you guys do?
I'm guessing we're making for the
Yeah,
stairs
that's
as
what
well.
you do.
All
Yeah.
us and all the illusions
All
were
the
all...
illusions and all the clones in us.
Yeah, so there's this tide of people going up these stairs into this other room. And that's where we're gonna end it. Just this big old room
Just a horde
full
of people walking
full of people that are just vague shapes of you guys. Though only a few of them are truly real.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But we're still gonna have-
Before we end it, I gotta know what do alternate universe Worf and Artie?
Yeah, we need to see.
Oh gosh, dang it. Alright, let's see. D12, let's see who's got what class.
Presumably they're best of friends.
Artie has got 7, which goes down the line. Let me just check. I didn't actually have them up. I was rolling them earlier and I closed it because I didn't think I'd have to answer. So barbarian, then bard, then cleric, then druid, then fighter, then monk. So 7 is paladin.
Nice.
Artie is a paladin. So there's paladin Artie, which I'm gonna have to write this down now.
Which hopefully is chaotic or is good.
We'll see.
Good.
And I'm rolling for
Not
Worf.
chaotic evil.
Worf is also a paladin.
Yeah,
and they are best friends.
Yeah.
They are best friends, and
What
they're
is
both
Worf?
paladins.
The paladins and their best friends.
They both rolled 7. Now for Signorin, though, let's see what Signorin's
Ascot
class is.
Signorin.
I love that you were a cleric and you were the
Oh,
reason
Signorin
why
is
Worf
also
loved
a
people.
paladin.
Everyone is a paladin.
Except for me.
Paladin, cleric, and I think you were. I didn't actually think you were a fighter. I just was like, that would be cool. So let's roll for the
Fighter
official.
ring with the
I mean,
knife.
fighting makes sense, yeah.
What do you get?
Another paladin.
Dude, it's the awful good
That
paladin.
is Google's decree.
Yeah, it's just like
7.
paladins. It's paladins and a cleric.
Let me
It's
put it
like
this way.
have to have
This
a
is a
One cleric
D12.
and all paladins.
There is 4 paladins that I rolled in a row after 1 cleric. So that is 7 4 times in a row.
That's funny.
well,
with no
yeah, it's a sign. They're this super lawful good party.
They're
that
just the most righteous party ever.
And they're just like they have.
you better believe we're all gonna.
You know,
feel
the
really
Rambo
inadequate.
kobold is a weird paladin, but yeah, so they've all sworn a holy oath, which is the rules of paladins
Together.
in my game.
Together.
Yeah, they're friends because it's a friendship oath.
Oh no!
The cleric
What have I done?
is great. So they're all friends, and they're just like, oh gosh, these buffoons are not friends, and they're just like not even cool. They don't even praise, man. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to write down paladins and a cleric party.
I'll be like, thanks, Buddy and I are friends. Just like you try and
Well,
pull Worf closer.
Now, guys,
and
the plus
Worf
side of
is
this
like,
is
get away.
if we ever wanted to like shake things up, we could play as our parallel universe selves on an adventure.
All paladins.
Like same characters.
With the ascots.
They each have a
better believe-
scarfy thing. Let's see.
Symbol of
please
their
say-
friendship order.
Please say
No, that's the holy symbol.
the little
Because all
tabaxi
paladins
has a
have a holy
tie.
symbol.
Tie.
There's a little bow tie.
Oh yeah,
A little
kobold.
bow tie.
So the Rambo kobold has a bandana. Because these are important now. This is now in fact important lore.
It's the holy symbol, because all paladins have holy symbols.
Tabaxi has a bow tie.
I wanted a cape.
I'm locking all of them out
Unfortunately,
of my tower.
Your
and just
alternate
hiding in there.
universe preferred a bow tie. You don't get saying the alternate universe.
It's an alternate universe.
This is a universe where you wanted a bow tie.
But you in this
What
universe
does
should start
Worf
wearing a
want
cape
to put his cloth
contrast
on?
with
Because
the
this is
other.
basically Naruto now. I mean, they all have a strange way to wear their own thing. What do you want to wear your bandana like, Worf?
Oh, how come he gets to choose and I don't?
Because I have no idea what Worf would do, but the bow tie is so cute.
He ties it around his face.
Oh,
It's
so it's
another
Like a
bandana.
robber.
so blind bandana.
No, like a
It's
robber.
a robber
the,
bandana.
The
Yeah.
over the mouth.
Oh,
the
okay,
nose.
so
Okay.
I'm
okay,
here to take all
robber
your
mask.
I'm gonna take all your sins.
It probably helps them to seem less threatening because of the face. Yeah.
They are less of a robot now.
Yeah.
Now, what does the dwarf do for wearing the bandana? Because this is really the
So
most
I've got an
important
ascot.
thing I can finish.
Bandana.
Yeah, everyone has a bandana and it's bright red and glows in the
Our
dark.
alternate selves.
I'm not wearing it on my head. I'm wearing it on my arm.
It's like a muscle bandana, you know?
Yeah.
So he's the
But on my
cleric.
robot arm.
Nice. Dwarf robot arm bandana.
Is your robot arm on the other side?
Yeah,
Yes.
the opposite arm.
Yes.
Cool. Now I have that group made.
like it or not, they're part of it
They
now.
exist, and they
also
were
that
created
doesn't make any
only
sense
through
'cause you
chaos.
mentioned